We will guide their ships safely out of these restricted waterways so that they can freely and ably get on with their business. Adding, I am fully aware that my representatives are having very positive discussions with the country of Iran.
Correspondent Mary Bruce saying the president also rejected the latest counter-proposal from Iran. Iran has threatened ships that try to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. It is 56 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says it'll be sunny today, high creeping into the upper 70s. Some of us will dip back into the 40s tonight. Rain chance going up later this week. Atlanta's most accurate, dependable forecast is coming up. Watching the issues that continue in airports around the country, including here in Atlanta. Thousands of flyers remain stranded following the sudden shutdown at Spirit Airlines. WSB's Veronica Waters says this problem could stick around throughout the week.
Tiffany Dover, owner of Atlanta-based Sea Travel, says it's unknown how long it'll be before thousands of stranded Spirit ticket holders are rebooked or compensated.
There were a lot of travelers at Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Airport stuck trying to get on other flights with other airlines, and some of them were reporting that although the other airlines are open to helping them, for a lot of destinations, they just did not have flights that were available.
Dover says flyers with travel insurance have a good chance of getting reimbursed. She adds that because Spirit's budget prices had no impact on Atlanta-based Delta and other carriers, she does not foresee a big jump in their ticket prices long term.
Yeah, Spirit's shutdown also leaving more than 17,000 employees without jobs. Now, other airlines say they're helping impacted Spirit customers. JetBlue offering $99 fares for those affected. American says it's looking to add bigger planes and more seats. Well, maybe some of you already know this firsthand. Mortgage debt is on the rise around the country.
A survey by WalletHub ranks all 50 states according to the largest mortgage debt increase to the least. In this new ranking, Georgia comes in at number 15. The average household nationwide owes around $109,000. Mortgage debt has been on an upward trend over the past few years with rising home prices and higher interest rates. Alaska has the unenviable distinction of being number one, with Vermont having the smallest increase in mortgage debt. I'm Bloomberg's John Tucker for 95.5 WSB.
Well, commuters in Roswell celebrate the city's latest addition, and more is on the way.
The 3.5-level deck is opening to help residents still get into downtown as construction starts on Green Street, cutting off through traffic from Cherry Way to Highway 9.
That part of the project is under construction for the next 6 months. The mayor and council determined that they weren't going to charge for parking in the parking deck until all of that work is complete.
City Administrator for Infrastructure Sharon Izzo says they are adding new lights and trails along the street. Drivers can access the parking deck from the new connector road. Mary Ryan Howarth, 95.5 WSB.
And today marks the beginning of Children's Health Awareness Week here in Georgia. Laura Lucas with the State Department of Early Care and Learning announces this year's theme.
So this year, we're going to take a pause with Callie, which really highlights the skill of grounding. So grounding is really when we bring the body and mind back to the present moment.
Yeah, for the first time, there's now a mental health toolkit available for providers online. The state's also focusing on developing a model and curriculum for building a workforce of consultants to better serve children and families in our state. It is 9:03. The Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. Let's start the WSB 24-hour traffic center and Smile on Mark McKay.
Start with a travel advisory in Sandy Springs. Judd, only a left lane open. Northside perimeter 285 westbound. Widely scattered injury crash. Several vehicles involved in this one. 285 west before Riverside Drive exit 24. Seeing delays out of Dunwoody now back at Peachtree Dunwoody Road. You can always take 400 south into Northeast Atlanta, but you are dealing with slow zone 85 southbound, leaving the 400 split down to the 75 merge. East side perimeter's also slow. Looks like a crash in the right lane in the construction zone. 285 southbound past Glenwood Road. Watching trouble on I-20, Ashley Fresca.
It's a crash that's been in 2 left lanes on I-20 westbound at Lithonia Industrial Boulevard. Delays not quite back to Turner Hill Road just yet. As you're traveling through East Atlanta, it looks like that ride's cleaned up. I-20 westbound looking good to the downtown connector. From the Loud Security Systems Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. A mix of sun and clouds today, warming up to a high of 78. Clear and cool for tonight, lows in the upper 40s to low 50s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 81. Clouds return on Wednesday along with rain showers late in the evening, high 83.
54 degrees right now in Suwanee, 54 in Kennesaw, up to 59 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome, friends. Hope you had a fantastic weekend, and I hope you filled up your tank because gas keeps going up and up and up. Welcome to the Mark Arum Show. Got a big one for you today, coming up in 30 minutes. Greg Bluestein from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution is going to join us live. A pair of new poll numbers to discuss with Mr. Bluestein, including fresh off the presses Democratic governor poll numbers here in the state of Georgia. We'll get reaction from Eric Erickson, who joins us live at 10:35, and not once but twice, two chances to win today. First up in an hour and, I got to do math again. 10:12 a.m. I'm not going to do any math, but at 10:12 a.m., I'm going to give you a keyword in the Grand for Gas giveaway, a chance to win $1,000 just for listening to the Mark Arum Show. And congrats to Robert in Alpharetta. He won a Grand for Gas during Atlanta's Morning News with Chris Chandler. And Deborah, I'm not going to do my James Taylor imitation just yet.
You have a James Taylor impression?
I've been working on it, but we're giving away James Taylor's
We have tickets to see James Taylor.
I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I don't know all the lyrics. But anyway, James Taylor, that's pretty cool. Another performing songwriter that I've never seen in person before. I've never seen James Taylor. So a chance to win a pair of tickets to see James Taylor coming up at 11:37 on the Mark Arum Show. And, of course, updating our top local stories. Unfortunately, this morning, again, our top story is the war in Iran. Joining us from Jerusalem from ABC News, Jordana Miller. Jordana, good morning. Thanks so much for your time. Big headline here. Iran threatens U.S. forces in the Strait of Hormuz. What can you tell us this morning?
That's right. President Trump had said that he was going to implement a new plan to help dozens of vessels that are stranded in the Strait of Hormuz that are not a party to the conflict between the U.S., Israel, and Iran, that he was going to help those vessels get out of the Strait of Hormuz. So they're stuck there for now 2 months. And he said the U.S. would help provide a kind of security zone, not necessarily to go in and follow each vessel through, but by monitoring the situation outside the Strait of Hormuz with the U.S. Navy in the skies with aircraft, that he would help ensure their safe passage. And the problem with that, which, by the way, at first was very welcome because, as I said, there are so many who've been stranded in the Strait. The problem is that this morning, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard threatened to fire on an attack and stop any vessel that's trying to get out of the Strait of Hormuz. The Iranians saying that all vessels transiting have to coordinate their moves with the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, which is exactly what they don't want to do. They don't want to give Iran control over a very important, critical passageway that was free. The Iranians could charge them money. The Iranians could restrict them. So it seems that with this threat, I don't know how far the president's plan is going to get, because I'm not sure that people are going to take the chance. There's a lot of risks. We saw the Iranians fire on 2 vessels near the straits overnight, and on Sunday.
And in the meantime, cargo shipments still non-existent to and through the strait. Jordana, what about reports that the Iranian, I don't even want to say their Navy, I don't know what capability they have, that they did indeed fire on a U.S. naval vessel?
Well, the Iranians were reporting a short while ago that they had fired on a U.S. naval vessel, but U.S. officials are telling us this is fake news, a false report, and that no vessel has been fired on. And the Iranians do this. They are, they routinely lie and spread propaganda. And they spread propaganda that their own carriers and vessels have gotten through or broken the U.S. naval blockade, which we know is not true. So, again, I think the Iranians are trying to, they are testing the U.S. and President Trump, on a daily basis. And after this statement and the launch of what CENTCOM calls Project Freedom to help those vessels stuck in the Strait of Hormuz leave the strait, we're seeing the Iranians really, throw a lot of cold water on that plan. It's hard to see how it's going to actually work.
Jordana Miller from ABC joining us in Jerusalem here on the Mark Arum Show. In the meantime, a lot of negative headlines, but are there any talks going on behind the scenes between the United States and Iran, either through the, Pakistan proxy or are just negotiations completely turned off right now?
Well, the good news is that the channels of communication remain open. The Pakistanis have given President Trump over the last week several new drafts of a ceasefire. The problem is that they continue to put resolving the nuclear issue at the end of the process. The Iranians continue to give new versions of the ceasefire back to President Trump, but they continue to include the nuclear issue down at phase 3, right? Phase 1, opening the Strait of Hormuz. Phase 2, lifting the U.S. naval blockade and some sanctions. Phase 3, we'll talk about the nuclear issue. And that's just not going to work for the president. He believes that stopping Iran from becoming a nuclear power is at the top of the list. And that includes commitments to halt enriching uranium on Iranian soil. And it includes handing over almost 1,000 pounds of enriched material, up to 60%. And remember, that's just a tiny step to 90% weaponization levels, what you need for a nuclear bomb. And it appears the president is not going to change his red line. He's not going to move the nuclear issue to the bottom of a deal where it's going to be dealt with at some future date. He wants it closed and dealt with now.
Indeed. Jordana Miller, ABC News. Jordana, great stuff. Please stay safe, my friend.
Thanks. Talk soon.
In the meantime, we are literally feeling the pain at the pump. $4.43 now is the average price for a gallon of gas nationwide. That's a 40-cent jump from last week. And with more uncertainty in the straits, Brent crude prices in early trading or before the bell opens are up well. I think it's $112 a barrel now. And I was paying close attention to this because I'm a nerd over the weekend. I kind of went down a rabbit hole on gas prices. And I don't want to say this, Deborah, but I think we're going to hit $5.
It's looking that way,
yeah,
right?
because it's crazy because we produce so much oil. And, Deborah, you got a story a little bit later in the show that we are exporting more oil than ever right now out of the United States to help alleviate the pain globally. But if you drill oil today, let's just say, there's a huge oil deposit in McDonough we didn't know. And ExxonMobil comes in and drills today. It's 5 to 10 years before that oil hits the market. So even if the war ends tomorrow, I'm just saying, brace yourself. $5 a gallon, price to pay for a nuclear-free Iran. That is for you to decide. But just oof. And of course, the cost of fuel impacts everything. But a lot of big headlines there from Jordana Miller in Jerusalem. Kevin Liptak at the White House moments ago on, what is going on in the Strait right now? Who controls the Strait? Do we know anything?
Yeah, and what actually does guiding really mean? A U.S. official says that it is not considered an escort mission, and so we won't see these destroyers sort of sailing alongside these merchant vessels as they pass through the strait. Instead, the suggestion is that this is more of a coordination effort. The U.S. military will help these vessels decide which channels to flow through, which are the safest, and essentially, through their presence in the Arabian Sea and around the Strait of Hormuz, try and provide some reassurance to the shipping companies and to the pilots themselves that this passageway is safe. Now, what Central Command says is that it will involve the guided missile destroyers, more than 100 aircraft, drones, 15,000 American service personnel to try and get this very critical waterway opened. And the Central Command statement from this morning, I think, is significant. In addition to the 2 U.S. flagged merchant vessels that they say have now safely transited the Strait of Hormuz, they also say that U.S. Navy guided missile destroyers are now operating in the Arabian Gulf after they themselves transited the Strait of Hormuz, suggesting that these American warships were able to pass through without being targeted by Iran, which I think is significant. And so all of this, I think, progressing clearly, President Trump trying to up the pressure on Iran, really, to either reopen the strait or return to war. The president very explicitly in his Truth Post, social post last night said that if any of these efforts were interfered with, that the U.S., quote, unfortunately, would have to deal with them very forcefully. And I think he's sort of upping the stakes here. Amid these dual blockades of the strait that have caused energy prices to spike, the president is saying that the U.S. will try and get vessels flowing, but also suggesting that the ceasefire that's currently in place will be breached if Iran starts firing on these ships. Of course, as the diplomacy continues apace, we're getting mixed signals on that front. The president saying that Iran's proposal that's on the table now is unacceptable, while at the same time saying that the conversations are very positive. Not exactly clear where that stands at the moment, but evidently some success we're seeing, at least according to Central Command, in this effort to reopen the strait.
Kevin Liptak moments ago at the White House. Obviously, major questions through the Strait of Hormuz. Updates continuously throughout the day on the Iran war here on 95.5 WSB. Sad news, especially to old-time WSB radio listeners. John Sterling has passed away at the age of 87. John Sterling spent 9 years here in Atlanta hosting a sports call-in show on WSB Radio, covered the Braves and the Hawks from the early 80s to the late 80s for Turner Sports. Vinny Drip called a John Sterling home run call from back in the day on WSB Radio.
And he is at the deep left. He goes back. It is gone. Holy cow. Oh, my goodness. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Rick Camp home run call. That was Rick Camp was a pitcher. That was a really insane home run call. So after his stint at WSB Radio in Atlanta, he went on and became a big part of my young adulthood. He became the voice of the New York Yankees. I think he started calling the Yankees games on the radio back in 1989.
Here's the 1-1. Ground ball to short. Volpe fields, throws to first in time. Ball game over. American League Eastern Division over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
That turned out to be a signature call. Obviously, he didn't use that when he was calling Braves games and working at WSB Radio. Yeah, it was 89. John Sterling went to New York. He, Deborah, called 5,060 consecutive games for the Yankees from 1989 until 2019. He retired recently, but they brought him back for special events. No word on the cause of death, but he did have a heart attack, and he passed away at the age of 87. Judd Higginbotham, do you remember John Sterling at WSB Radio or calling Braves or Hawks games?
I do not remember him calling those. I've heard those calls before, but no. When it was happening, no.
He was. I never met him, but he apparently was good friends with Steve Holman, the voice of the Hawks. From their time in Atlanta. And I always get so jealous when Steve would post on Facebook when he'd go to New York for games and he'd have dinner with John Sterling.
Yep.
And I'd be like, Steve, you got to, invite me next time. I want to come on. I'll fly up to New York just to, he was the voice of the Yankees.
If you're a sports fan, those play-by-play guys are like close to your heart. Like,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So John Sterling, former WSB radio employer and voice of the Hawks, the Braves, and most folks know him as the voice of the Yankees, has passed away at the age of 87. A reminder, Grand for Gas continues. We had a John. I'm going to give him a little shout out. We had a winner from Alpharetta during Atlanta's morning news. His name was Robert in Alpharetta. He won $1,000. You could be the next to win a Grand for Gas. Keyword coming up at 10:12 a.m. right here on the Mark Arum Show. When we come back, we're going to update our top local stories right now, though, at 9:19. Checking the ride around town. Hello and good morning to Mike Shields.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Getting a little bit better for you if you're traveling in Sandy Springs, leaving Dunwoody on 285 westbound. The outer loop approaching Riverside Drive, exit 24, where a crash was in 4 right lanes, down to 1 right lane and clearing quickly to the right shoulder. That's good news. The bad news is, yes, it's still sluggish as you leave Doraville through Dunwoody trying to make your way to Georgia 400. Also crash cleared on the southeast leg of the perimeter, 285 southbound. The inner loop before I-20, bumper to bumper though, as you leave Memorial Drive, and a crash in Stonecrest. This is Stonecrest still active, I-20 westbound. Lithonia Industrial Boulevard slow as you leave Turner Hill Road. The support is brought to you by Take 5 Oil Change. Don't let the oil light add drama. Head to Take 5, stay in your car, in and out in about 10 minutes. Get back to your day. From the Lao Security Systems Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
Every Everyone has an opinion.
I think you have gotten better at moving through the water.
Eric Von Hassler has an opinion.
Well, that's why you're not the host of the show.
And some advice.
And I don't care about you wearing a mask, but I care about Eric making fun of you. So the answer is no.
Eric Von Hassler, today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey, y'all, it's Belinda Skelton, and I've got Deborah Barron from Four Seasons Home Care with me. And Deborah, I get so many calls from listeners who feel guilty. They're asking, am I a bad daughter if I don't take care of my mom myself? How do you address that with families?
Oh, Belinda, we hear this all the time, and it breaks my heart. You are not a bad daughter or son for getting professional help. In fact, by recognizing what your parent truly needs. Most of us aren't trained in elder care, medication management, or mobility assistance. What we see is that when families bring in professional caregivers, the adult children can go back to being the daughter or son. Not the nurse, not the cook, not the aide. You have that quality time with your parent, and that's what they really want.
That is such an important point. What about parents who really resist? I hear from folks saying, my dad refuses to have a stranger in the house.
Yep, that's very common, especially at first. What we found is that resistance usually comes from fear of losing independence or privacy. So we start slowly, maybe just part-time with someone who can be a companion as much as a caregiver. Often it's conveyed as someone to help with the cleaning or a driving assistant. And then once your parent realizes that this person is there to help them stay independent, not take over their life, the resistance usually melts away. We've had so many families tell us, Dad really looks forward to Marie coming now.
Oh, I love that. What services do your caregivers provide? I think some people don't realize everything that's available.
Great question. Our caregivers can help with all personal care needs, whatever would help your parents stay safe and comfortable at home.
Folks, if your aging parents want to stay in their own home, or if you're struggling with the guilt about not doing it all yourself, call Four Seasons Home Care. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta and request a free consultation. Find out how professional care can actually strengthen your relationship with your parents. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
Hey, your house called. It wants a bath. Not just any bath either, a full-on pollen-blasting, grime-busting spa day from Wise Guys Pro Wash. If your home looks anything like mine did, covered in pollen and grime and algae, then it's time you give Wise Guys Pro Wash a call. One quick call, a fast quote, and next-day service. I found it was that easy, and the best part, I didn't even need to be home. They handled everything, the house, the deck, and the driveway. It all looked amazing when I pulled in from work. They even cleaned the roof. All those black streaks are gone now. Wise Guys can take care of it all. And thanks to their soft wash, everything was cleaned safely. No damage, no peeling paint on our siding and trim. No wonder they've got more than 2,000 five-star reviews. I trust Wise Guys Pro Wash to get it done right every time. So mention me, Chris Chandler, and get $70 off your next service. But hurry, summer fills up fast. Book now at wiseguysprowash.com.
We are here with CFP Matthew Decker of the Vincent Financial Group and host of Retire ATL every weekend right here. Get more at retireatlradio.com. And Matt, what makes you and the team, what makes you different?
You come to us, you come to the Vincent Financial Group for money management, and yet maybe you're a really conservative investor. Our fee is not going to change whether or not we're shooting for a 20% rate of return or a 5% rate of return. This is one of the better use cases for a no-fee growth annuity, because on those no-fee growth annuity contracts, if you get the right ones and if you're working with the right people, you won't pay an advisory fee on those dollars, and yet you are getting exactly what you want, which is a vehicle that has more safety to it. So for those people in the retirement window looking for a way to take some risk off the table but not have to pay a fee to do it, a no-fee growth annuity can be a phenomenal complement to a portfolio. If you want to have that conversation around, what your mix of assets should be, we'd love to have that conversation with you. You can go to retireatlradio.com. Right there on the homepage, you can book a 30-minute discovery call with us. We can have this conversation. We would love to do it.
Again, that's retireatlradio.com, or make the call. We have a representative standing by right now. 770-280-1488. That's 770-280-1488. That initial consultation to discuss your financial future with Aaron Vincent, Matthew Decker, the team at the Vincent Financial Group. It's no cost, no obligation. 280-1488 or retireatlradio.com. And join us for Retire ATL every weekend right here. And it's all powered by the Vincent Financial Group.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
My best friend was murdered by the National Guard.
How did it start? Do you have any idea?
The National Guard turned around and opened fire. Nothing happened previous to that. Nobody fired at the National Guard beforehand.
56 years ago today, 4 students killed, 9 others wounded when the Ohio National Guard opened fire at anti-war protesters at Kent State University. I believe the story goes, Deborah, right after that, this fella, Neil Young, went into the woods, came up with a song in his mind.
Do you remember interviewing Graham Nash about this?
No. I can't even fathom what was going through in May 4th, 1970. Keep it going, Vinny. No, this is one of the best songs of all time. And the inspiration that Neil Young had, like literally walked into the woods, came up with this, came back and, what's this called? Like not a tribute song, but a protest song?
Kind of,
yeah. Protest song.
We actually studied this in school, too.
Did you really?
It was like, we had a really cool history teacher, and it was his way of like making it more engaging for students, right?
By the way, you as a child, a baby, I just saw your baby picture on.
What a fat little baby.
Oh my! I was like, "There's no way that's Deborah."
I know, right?
Check her out on Instagram at Rockstress FM. Anyway, 56 years ago today, you heard it on WSB Radio. 4 students killed, 9 others wounded at Kent State University. We don't really see these protest songs anymore. I know Bruce Springsteen did one recently. Springsteen. He was in town this
About
weekend,
Minnesota,
by the way.
right?
Yeah,
he was in town Saturday.
But
they just don't get the same attention, maybe.
I talked to Graham Nash about this.
You talked to Graham Nash about this,
All right,
yes. Maybe we'll do it as a replay.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, it's 9:27 on the Mark Arum Show. Sorry, I didn't have a chance to update my top local story. Just give me an excuse to play FM DJ for a second, a little Neil Young. Oh, what a great song that is. All right, when we come back, we are going to update a top local story. The race for the governor's mansion on West Paces Ferry. New poll numbers have come out. We discussed poll numbers on the Republican side last week. This morning, we have new poll numbers on the Democratic side. Who is leading the race for the Democratic nomination for Georgia governor? Greg Bluestein from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution is going to join us live next. A reminder, Grand for Gas giveaway continues 10:12 a.m. I'm going to give you a keyword, your chance to win a Grand for Gas, coming up at 10:12 here on the Mark Arum Show.
You always remember a home service company that's friendly and thorough. That's 100% the experience I had when CertaPro Painters came to my home to look at our white ceilings that just needed a facelift. Ashley Frasca here to tell you that their process is hassle-free and they get the job done right with pride in their work. Things are looking up at the Frasca House thanks to CertaPro Painters. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Why is Channel 2 Action News Georgia's #1 morning news? Unmatched coverage of breaking major news. In-depth reporting showing the impact on your community, family, and money. Channel 2 Action News this morning, starting at 4:30.
I'm Channel 2's Karen Greer. When stories break, they unfold in real time. We have multiple reporters live in your neighborhood, so when it matters most, you know how it affects your family. Channel 2 Action News, every day at 4, 5, and 6.
Just call Sweet James at 1-800-9-million. Just call Sweet James, your accident attorney.
If you've been hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle crash, you're probably asking, who do I trust? There's only one firm to call, friends, the attorneys at Sweet James. You've seen them all over Atlanta. Here's what makes them different. Many of the Sweet James attorneys used to represent insurance companies, so they know how they work and what comes next. Sweet James steps in, takes over, helps you get to the right doctors, and handles your case so you can focus on healing. They fight to get you the most money possible and help you get back on the road. They've recovered over over $2 billion for injured accident victims, and you pay nothing unless they win. Call for a free case review, 800-9-million, 800-900-0000, and sweetjames.com.
Just call Sweet James at 1-800-9-million. Just call Sweet James, your accident attorneys.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 9:30. I'm Jed Hickenbotham. News this half hour brought to you by Dr. Roof. Our top story, watching the investigation this morning in DeKalb County where a home is heavily damaged in a fire that sent some victims to the hospital.
There were 7 people inside when fire broke out at the home on Rays Road. DeKalb Fire Captain Jason Daniels says most were able to escape, but they told arriving crews one person was still trapped inside.
Making entry into the home, finding that victim, and actually bringing her out for rescue. She suffered heavy smoke inhalation and was in critical condition and was transported, obviously, to the hospital.
A young girl was also hospitalized for smoke inhalation, a third resident receiving treatment for burns to the hands. Crews were able to put out the fire. The cause remains under investigation. Graham Keel, 95.5 WSB.
It is 60 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says get back into the upper 70s today. Plenty of sunshine. We should top 80 later on this week. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Well, drivers in Cherokee County, you have been warned as the county cracks down on drivers who ignore stopped school buses. The warning period is now over. Heavy fines have begun. Almost all the buses in Cherokee now have stop arm cameras. Drivers who illegally pass the stop school bus face a $1,000 penalty. District says just on one day last year, more than 200 drivers illegally passed school buses. Well, after denying Iran's claims that a U.S. warship was hit by missiles today in the Strait of Hormuz, the U.S. now says at least 2 ships have passed through the strait. It comes to CNN's Nick Robertson says Iran had sent a warning after the White House announced it would begin aiding ships to pass through the strait.
The IRGC spokesperson saying that if any U.S. naval vessel tries to violate the Strait of Hormuz, then it will be attacked. So there's been very clear lines coming from the Iranian leadership.
Now, 2 ships were reportedly attacked in the strait on Sunday as well, although it's not known who launched those strikes. No one was injured in either incident, but drivers in the U.S. are still feeling the impacts of this conflict. Gas prices have jumped 40 cents in just a week around the country. Now, check back often. We'll keep you updated on the conflict in the Middle East here on 95.5 WSB and on the WSB radio app. Breaking news from the region when it happens. And it comes after years of planning and development. The Gainesville Inland Port opens today with a direct rail link to the Port of Savannah. The terminal on White Sulphur Road covers just over 100 acres, and it can process 200,000 containers each year. It's according to a video featuring CEO Wesley Barrell.
Strategic investment by Georgia Ports will support growth, create jobs, and give businesses another powerful tool to reach global markets.
He says it'll have a major impact on roads around Metro Atlanta, eliminating more than 50,000 truck trips and reducing carbon emissions by over 20,000 metric tons per year. It'll also save the state almost $16 million each year in road paving and maintenance costs. It is 9:33 as we check your money, and all major indices in the red to start the week. Dow is down about 160 points. S&P and NASDAQ are down slightly at the moment. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather, starting the WSB 24-hour traffic center, and Mike Shields.
John, how about some good news in Sandy Springs? Well, as I speak, the last Sandy Springs police unit moving to the right shoulder, and all lanes now back open. I-285 westbound, the outer loop right at Riverside Drive, exit 24. Yes, the delays remain back into Doraville, traveling 285 westbound, making your way through Dunwoody and trying to get to Georgia 400, but that will improve. Speaking of improving, we're seeing that on I-20 in DeKalb County, where a crash cleared I-20 westbound just past Evans Mill Road. Sluggish as you leave Stonecrest, but delays improving, working your way to 285. Other side of the roadway, though, seeing the delays form. I-20 eastbound getting past Wesley Chapel Road due to roadwork setting up. From the Lao Security Systems Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. A mix of sun and clouds today, high 78, staying cool for tonight, lows in the upper 40s to low 50s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high around 81, rising into the low 80s on Wednesday before cloud cover and rain showers return late in the evening.
57 degrees right now in Smyrna, 61 in Conyers, 62 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10, breaking news when it happens. I'm Jed Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
You know WSB gets you around Atlanta with our triple team traffic.
Now we've got $1,000 to fuel your ride. It's WSB's A Grand for Gas.
Listen for the keyword at 8, 10, 12, 2, and 5.
You'll have 30 minutes to enter that keyword at WSBRadio.com or the WSB Radio app.
One lucky listener wins a grand for gas. Your next chance to win is at 10.
WSB's A Grand for Gas.
From the station that gets you where you want to go. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's free gas station.
If hostilities break out to try and keep the ships in place, the president essentially has put this back in Iran's lap.
That's former Pentagon reporter Barbara Starr. Still to come, the very latest in the Strait of Hormuz. But coming up next, fresh poll numbers in the governor's race in Georgia. Greg Bluestein live in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Maybe it was a couple of years ago you first started noticing it. Your hairline was receding, or your hair was getting thin, or you started getting a bald spot. No matter how long ago you first noticed it, today is the day you make a change. It's Mark Arum back from my friends at Advanced Hair. Yes, whether it's thinning hair, whether it's a receding hairline, or a bald spot, don't wait any further. Take care of it with the Advanced FUE treatment only at Advanced Hair. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and no one else in Atlanta can offer the Advanced FUE found at Advanced Hair. Fix your hair loss today, starting with your free consultation. And you'll also get $500 off if you move forward. Call 470-660-HAIR. That's 470-660-HAIR. Refine your hairline with a team that's redefined hair restoration. And don't forget to ask about that Advanced Hair Guarantee. 470-660-HAIR or online at advancedhair.com.
Men, if you're suffering from ED or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Priority Men's Medical Center restores men's love lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Priority Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Priority Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. Take control of your love life. Call now. 404-885-8885.
9:37 on the Mark Arum Show. A reminder, A Grand for Gas continues 10:12 a.m. I'm going to give you a keyword, chance to win a grand for gas here on 95.5 WSB. 10:35, Eric Erickson's going to join us live, maybe even in studio. We got to clean up around here, Deborah. Wipe down the Yamamoto spot over there. It cleared off for Eric Erickson. One of the first things we're going to ask Eric about, new poll numbers from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, talking about the governor's race in Georgia. Joining us live with said numbers, our good friend Greg Bluestein. Greg, good morning, buddy.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm like a crackhead when you guys drop new poll numbers. Got some new poll numbers out this morning on the governor's race. This time, the Democratic side of the aisle. What were the poll numbers and what can we take away from it?
Yeah, one of the biggest takeaways I had, Mark, was that the poll numbers really haven't changed significantly since the last AJC poll way back in October of 2025. That shows you just the dynamics of this race. Keisha Lance Bottoms, she's at 39% of support. It means she's kind of within striking distance of an outright win, but not really on the edge of it. But she is the dominant leader. She is well ahead of former DeKalb CEO Michael Thurmond. He's at 10%. Former State Senator Jason Estevez at 8%. Former Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, 7%. 1/3 of voters still are undecided.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that on the Republican side, too. A large number of undecided voters in both the governor and the Senate race. I'm guessing it's a battle for number 2 and try to force a runoff. And the poll numbers, it's, you know, margin of error of ±3. So it's basically a 3-person race for number 2 between Thurmond, Estevez, and Duncan right now.
Yeah, they're all clustered up. There's no clear alternative. There's no one who's really broken away from that pack. That means it's really anyone's ball game for that number 2 spot. But, Mark, the other part of this, too, is at 40%, it's not an easy ride to 50+1, but Keisha Lance Bottoms, there is an outside chance she could also just win this nomination as well. So that's also going on in this race.
Is that why, Greg, because there is a chance that there is no runoff, that the Bottoms campaign really hasn't been blasting the airwaves? I know they've started to, and recently I got a mailer from the Bottoms campaign at my house the other day, but they've been keeping kind of their powder dry. Is that just saving money for the general?
I mean, partly it's that. They also have calculated that sending mailers, and these are really, I mean, some people have gotten like booklets really from her campaign, has been more effective at this stage in the race than advertising, than paid media, especially on TV. If you think about it on the Republican side, more than $105 million has already been spent just on the GOP races compared to like $2 or $3 million on the Democratic side. So, maybe some of these campaigns are calculating that with all these ads, especially between Burt Jones and Rick Jackson, it's smarter to try to communicate with voters in different ways.
Greg Bluestein from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Early voting underway here in Georgia. Traditionally, historically, Democrats tend to vote early, which means there's a lot of votes already cast. Is there enough time for a Duncan Estevez or a Thurman to make a push and try to secure that number 2 spot? If so, what do they need to do right now?
Yeah, there's still plenty of time, and the best thing they have going for themselves is the fact that there are so many different candidates running. Right, it's about, I think, 7 Democrats are running overall, but 3 or 4 with real shots of being out there, of being in the runoff, and so that helps all these Democrats. They have their own strategies. Jeff Duncan just had his first TV ad up on the air within the last few days. Jason Estevez is going out with more messaging, more paid media, that sort of thing. Michael Thurman, he rolled out just a few days ago his own tax cut plan to cut the state sales tax in half. So, these are all ways that the Democrats are trying to get, carve out some room, some space from Keisha Lance Bottoms.
Do we have any idea, or have you heard whispers or rumors on who a Rick Jackson or who a Burt Jones are rooting for in the Democratic side? Do they want to face Keisha Lance Bottoms? Do they want to face Jeff Duncan? Any idea behind closed doors who they're rooting for?
Yeah, well, they certainly are expecting to face Keisha Lance Bottoms, and one reason you can tell that is they're already attacking her, right? Especially Rick Jackson. He has been going after her. Even with some of his TV ads, they're already painting her as the eventual Democratic nominee. And in part that's because they feel like she's polarizing. She's already well known, right? She's already a lot of Georgians, especially Atlantans, already have opinions about her. Some are positive, some are negative. So it's easier to sort of start attacking her right now. The other question mark is who Keisha Lance Bottoms wants to face on the Democratic side. If she is facing a runoff, would she rather go against Jeff Duncan, the former Republican, someone like Michael Thurman, who's been around politics for a long time, or someone like Jason Estevez, who is a rising Democratic star, but who fewer people might know about?
Yeah, that's a good question. And the fact that there are 4 candidates here hurts the 3, right? If there was no Jeff Duncan, if there was no Estevez, if there was no Thurman, we could see some consolidation of the vote there, which, just makes it more difficult, I think, for the Democrats to come together on one candidate. Since we paid you for the hour, Greg, if you don't mind, I want to ask about the poll that I hadn't talked to you about. That was the U.S. Senate Republican primary election. That poll dropped at the end of last week. Mike Collins in the lead with 22%, Buddy Carter at 13%, Derek Dooley at 11%. I guess same question, early voting's already started. Can Dooley make a push? I know the governor's been behind him. Can he get into that number 2 seed for the runoff?
Yeah, and look, I mean, that poll is interesting too because the numbers haven't changed all that much since our last poll in that race as well, except for this. Mike Collins' numbers have actually gone down a bit since October 2025. So he's still right in the thick of it. He's still leading the race by double digits. But no one has no one is the runaway favorite. Trump's endorsement, whether it comes in the runoff or later on, it would be, of course, a game changer in that race with so many Republicans still saying that Donald Trump's embrace is one of their top issues, their top concerns. But look, Derek Dooley and Buddy Carter are right in this. They're basically in a statistical tie, so there's no leader in that race for second place. Both of them are going all out on the campaign trail. Buddy Carter has loaned himself millions of dollars to launched a series of TV ads, and of course he's all over the place. And Derek Dooley, he has been on the campaign show with Governor Kemp for weeks now, driving home his message.
Indeed. I think the biggest number in that poll is the undecided. 54% Republican voters undecided on the Senate primary. That's a big number. That means there can be a lot of movement between now and voting day.
Yeah, it's a huge number, Mark. I went back to our last poll around this time in 2022. So April of 2022, where were voters? How undecided were voters? Because I was so, I'm confused by how many voters are still up in the air. And back then, only 15% of Republican voters, that was in the gubernatorial contest, were undecided. Now they've got double that in the gubernatorial contest and almost double that in the Senate contest. So a lot of voters still up in the air, despite all the money, attention, all the time, all the resources being spent by the campaigns to make sure voters are aware. They're still very, very up in the air.
Any other polls that I can eagerly await on the edge of my seat, or is that for the big ones right now?
Yeah, the horse race polls was pretty much done, but over the next few days, the AJC will be releasing other findings from the poll, like on data centers, on the economy, on Israel, and whether or not Israel should remain a national security priority of the U.S. So we're kind of diving deeper into all these issues to see where voters are feeling about these key problems and these key issues ahead of the November election.
You know what? That reminds me, Greg, because I love that you're going to go into the data, but there are a ton of other questions on the ballot. I haven't voted yet, but I talked to a friend who took the Republican ballot, and he said he was inundated with these, like take the pulse of the voter kind of questions. There's a ton of them on the ballot, at least on the Republican side this year.
Yeah, and each county can also put their own questions on the ballot too. So in some cases, and these are non-binding, a lot of these questions are what we call non-binding referendums. They're basically, honestly, they're big polls in and of themselves. And they just gauge the voters' moods about different issues, either very local issues or very national issues. So some of them are like Trump-driven questions, and some of them are about, should the county put money behind this or that park system?
Yeah. That you know what, Deborah? Let's make time at some point this weekend. We'll do a breakdown of the other questions being asked in the primary polls. I'd like to just to give listeners a heads up. Greg Bluestein is on all of the socials at Bluestein. Greg, phenomenal stuff, my friend. Go Braves.
Go Braves.
J.R. Ritchie pitching tonight, by the way, in Seattle.
I'll be up watching.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I'm going to be very tired tomorrow, Deborah. Yeah, J.R. Ritchie from Washington State making a homecoming. Very excited to see that, and I'll be tired tomorrow because I'm going to stay up late for the West Coast game. Greg Bluestein from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. All right, when we come back, updating our top local stories, including what is Georgia Tech getting into manufacturing. This is a big deal. If I'm reading this story right, this is a big deal. We'll explain what's going on on North Avenue after we check the ride around town. Hopefully no delays on the connector passing North Avenue, Mike Shields.
Not passing North Avenue, but before North Avenue. Unfortunately, double trouble, 7585 northbound before I-20. Crash works in a right lane. Once you get past that, you'll ride the brake lights getting up to Peachtree Pine Street, where a stalled vehicle right now sits in the second right lane. Going to wait for a hero unit to get there to help them and block the two right lanes to push it over to the right shoulder. 7585 southbound just sluggish from 17th Street getting past Georgia Tech, and delays continuing to Cobb County with roadwork setting up I-20 eastbound between Wesley Chapel Road and Panola Road. This sport is brought to you by Scott Antique Markets. The Scott Antique Markets is this weekend. There's no telling what you'll find. Visit the Atlanta Expo Centers, I-285 and Jonesboro Road. It's the Scott Antique Markets this weekend, ScottAntiqueMarket.com. From the Loud Security Systems Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
You can count on it.
You can try and plan for it.
But sometimes it gets the best of you.
Multiple left lanes blocked, quickly impacting you as you leave the airport.
When it stops you from getting where you need to be.
Atlanta's most trusted traffic team gets you there.
Now we've got our second crash of the morning on I-85.
The most up-to-date traffic reports from Atlanta's most trusted traffic team.
Only a right lane open.
Every time you listen. Triple Team Traffic.
95.5 WSB. How Atlanta gets there.
Steel Horse Law knows that your bike is made of steel, but your heart is made of gold. If someone causes you to lay your bike down, you deserve the very best from an experienced firm that knows bikers because they are bikers. Eric Von Hassler for Steel Horse Law, the Stein and Karen Law Group. They're local, so they understand the changes to Georgia law, and you'll meet directly with your attorney, not just an assistant like the mega firms. Schedule your free accident evaluation at steelhorselaw.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed right here on 95.5 WSB. Chris, we're barreling through 2026, but it's still early, and that means it's still a great time to get organized in your financial life. And here's the good news for folks listening out there. Hoffman Financial Group is here to help with that, aren't we?
Yeah, so we make it simple, right? And it goes back to saving people time. Don't worry about you having to work with us. We work for you. So if you were to reach out to us, we would start with something as simple as the portfolio x-ray. Simple as far as your time that you need to provide us some data points on, but we'll take the hours and we'll apply our expertise to generate a pretty comprehensive look at your financial life, specifically your risk profile, the fees in your portfolio, the performance over last year, 3 years, 5 years, the last 10 years, against benchmarks. We'll also stress test it. Can we go back in time and say what would have happened to your portfolio during the Great Recession or the dot-com bubble that burst or the COVID correction? It'll give you an indication of how much your money is at risk. All of those components mixed into one simple 10 to 14 page report. We'll give you a copy of it. We'll walk you through it. And as I say, I have yet to see one that didn't have 2 or 3 golden nuggets, as I call them, of opportunity for you to contemplate possibly enhancing your financial future moving forward.
Make 2026 the year you take control of your financial life with this complimentary offer from Hoffman Financial Group. There's no cost for the portfolio x-ray, and the report is yours to keep. Call 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858 and online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
As a Massey Services technician, we have earned the trust of our customers. So much so, we're often called upon for a second opinion.
Did you want performance or all-season tires?
What would my Massey technician say?
Tough call. A much easier one is protecting your home with Massey's termite protection, which includes an unlimited repair guarantee that covers the structure and contents of your home.
Massey Services, offering expert advice and much more. Expect more and get it.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a super fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. But wait, there's more. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be switching to an American wireless company that's committed to keeping 100% of its customer service in this country. I appreciate that. In fact, that's why I switched. I also appreciate the way they support our vets and our skilled workforce. Dial pound 250, say micro, and get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. That's pound 250 micro. Stop paying twice what you need to pay for the service you want and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Said he was a cowboy when he was young.
9:53 on the Mark Arum Show. Hey, happy 67th birthday, Randy Travis. Born on this date in 1959. This is Walk on Water from his No Holding Back album. Happy birthday, Randy Travis. Have I interviewed him, Deborah? Refresh my memory.
Not since I have worked
Okay,
with
there you go. I can't believe I forgot I interviewed Graham Nash. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Grand for Gas continues 10:12 a.m. I'm going to give you a keyword. You enter that keyword into the WSB Radio app or online at wsbradio.com/gas, and you can win $1,000 just for listening to 95.5 WSB. Self-driving cars. I don't know if they're electric or not, but Georgia Tech is now getting in that business of self-driving car. What exactly is going on here?
Not self-driving cars the way you're thinking
Okay.
of it. Self-driving meaning they're going to be able to, they just launched this new lab, and self-driving meaning they're using robots and AI to do everything in there. They don't need people to come in and run these labs. Everything is robotic.
Oh.
So self-driving in that, not in a traditional car sense, but
Gotcha.
self-driving meaning that's how they're taking care of it. It's the first one in the nation, and they're kind of saying like people are scared of AI, but we want to show you that no, actually AI is good, and we need people to work with AI. So that's kind of Georgia Tech's
This is the biggest thing going forward with AI. I saw a piece over the weekend. Again, I really nerded out. I did a lot of show prep over the weekend. You'd be proud of me, Deborah. There was a guy on, apparently AI. There's just a lack of guardrails when it comes to AI. And I'm not telling you to do this, but apparently AI will teach you how to make chemical weapons and biological weapons. Like, what?
Because it doesn't understand like morals, right? Like
It's
a computer. It just gives out knowledge.
Yeah, it's there needs to be some sort of. I don't know if it lays on the actual companies that run these AI systems or the government or something, but.
Well, like even Google, if you search sensitive information, it gives you that alert, sensitive information.
Yeah, AI. It's good and it's bad. I don't know what. We're all going to be gone. It's Terminator. The Terminator is coming to life. If you are freaked out about AI, a lot of Americans are quitting their jobs now and moving abroad. What's the impetus for folks in America to quit their jobs and just hightail it out of here?
Well, one is the economic situation here, but it looks like about 6% of people in the United States, which is the highest it's ever been, have left companies here and they're going to work in other countries. And a lot of them have really good incentives, like it's much cheaper to live. We've seen those buy $1 house in Italy.
Exactly.
And the cost of living in Europe seems to be a lot cheaper. Some of them also, it's remote work. So they're not even leaving their job here. They can work anywhere. And some of these people they're foreign-born workers anyway. They came to the United States, but those jobs aren't as plentiful as they were a couple years ago. And so now they're going to other countries.
6%? That's a big number. Big number.
You wouldn't go move to Japan if the opportunity came?
I would love to retire in Japan because, as you mentioned, the cost of living is so cheap. Like you can buy... The house I live in now is like $25,000 in Japan, which is, I mean,
I love that.
I know
I can buy that
it's
cash.
crazy, and free healthcare over there. But I wouldn't. I'm not going to leave my job to move to another country. But
no, but a lot of these are job people are being poached. Like, hey, you're doing this, do it over here for better.
Yeah, that's a big number, 6%. That means 6 out of 100 workers at WSB Radio are leaving to go work. Vinny, would you leave America to go work in another country?
I don't think so.
Yeah, not yet.
That's just me. Yeah.
Not even Canada?
Too young. I got so much more here.
But to be fair, now's the time you should travel, Vin. I mean,
travel is fine.
Yeah.
But to live, I don't know.
You need to. I want you to go on an international. You have a passport, right?
I have a passport.
Heard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I need you to, because you're not spoiled right now. Like if I had traveled a lot when I was your age, I didn't care if it was a cheap hotel or if I was in.
That was the best way to do it.
Middle seat coach.
Hostels, whatever.
Yeah, because you're going to get bougie. You're full time now.
Yeah.
You're making real money, and you're going to start getting bougier. And when you get bougier, you're not going to be able to travel as often as you want. So there's my advice. Not just to Vinny, but anyone. Darius, travel while you're young, my friend. Travel while you're young. All right, news, weather, and traffic in 2. When we come back, Spirit Airlines is no mo. What does that mean for the travel industry? Xavier Walton from News Nation is going to join us live. And a grand for gas. Chance to win $1,000 coming up next on The Mark Arum Show.
Breda's proud to protect the homes of trusted radio hosts like Scott Slade, Dave Baker, Mark Arum, and Christina Edwards. You've heard from them. Now here's my personal message. Hi, it's Matt Breda from Breda Pest Management. After 50 years, we're still family-owned and operated, so our name's on the line. It's about integrity and protecting our community from bugs and critters. That's the commitment the Bredas stand behind.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Is your septic system out of sight, out of mind? When was the last time it was even inspected? Hi, I'm Shannon, owner of Scorpion Septic. It should be inspected every 3 to 5 years to avoid a costly septic emergency. Our affordable routine maintenance will keep your system running smoothly.
Take the sting out of septic service with Scorpion Septic, where there is never a pump out charge with your repair. ScorpionSepticServices.com.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Just call Sweet James at 1-800 call Sweet James, your accident attorney.
You want to know why you should call the accident attorneys at Sweet James if you're hurt in a crash? Check this out. Sweet James' client, riding his motorcycle on the freeway. Car crossed into his lane, knocked him off his bike. His accident left him with fractures and spinal injuries, needing multiple surgeries. He called Sweet James. Here's what happened next. The attorneys at Sweet James stepped in, fought back, and delivered a win of $2.25 million. They can't guarantee the outcome. Results vary, but experience matters. If you're hurt in a wreck, call the accident attorneys at Sweet James for a free case review at 800-9-MILLION, 800-900-0000, and sweetjames.com. Pay nothing until they win.
Just call Sweet James at 1-800-9-MILLION. Just call Sweet James, your accident attorneys.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Our top local story, fire erupts inside a DeKalb County home causing significant damage, and several people are injured.
Crews were called to a home on Rays Road. On arrival, they found several people outside the home.
There were 7 occupants at the home when the fire started.
Captain Jason Daniels says a woman trapped inside was rescued but suffered smoke inhalation and was hospitalized in critical condition. A young girl also needed treatment for smoke exposure, and one male victim suffered burns to the hands.
The fire's out, obviously. We have our investigator there working to figure out how the fire actually started.
No surrounding structures were affected. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
All right, so your weather for today, sunny skies. A few clouds passing by, though. Highs around 78, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. We do have an update on the South Georgia wildfires. Emergency responders are making big progress now. The rain helped firefighters contain the 22,000-acre Brantley County fire by 75% over the weekend. Close to half of the 32,000-acre fire in Clinch and Eccles County also contained. So that is good news this morning. In Cherokee County, they're cracking down on drivers who ignore stopped school buses. That warning period is now over. Nearly all the buses have stop arm cameras, and drivers who illegally pass a stopped bus will now be fined. And that fine is big, a hefty $1,000. The district saying just on one day last year, more than 200 drivers illegally passed school buses that were stopped. Gas prices are up 40%, or 40 cents, I should say, since last week as the war in Iran drags on. President Trump saying his administration's latest plan to reopen the Strait of Hormuz starts today. It's called Project Freedom and involves providing a protective shield for ships navigating the strait. And word this morning from the U.S. military that 2 American-flagged merchants have made it through successfully. Mary Bruce following the story now from the White House.
As the war drags on, hundreds of ships remain stuck in that vital shipping lane where 20% of the world's oil travels through. Back in the U.S., gas prices skyrocketing, now averaging $4.43 nationwide, a nearly 40-cent jump from just last week.
And peace talks with Iran remain stalled. This morning, passengers and industry experts reacting to Spirit Airlines' closure over the weekend. Rebecca Jarvis following that.
Spirit has faced troubles for some time, but for the thousands of passengers and employees traveling with Spirit Airlines over the weekend, this came as a huge surprise. Many travelers were stranded after Spirit's last flight landed in Dallas. The airline's sudden closure comes amid rising fuel prices and just 9 months after Spirit filed for bankruptcy for the second time.
And this is the first time in years an American airline has folded. The man known as the voice of the New York Yankees has died.
Ball game over. American League Eastern Division over. Yankees win. Yankees win.
Veteran broadcaster John Sterling's death was announced today. He spent 9 years here in Atlanta hosting a sports call-in show right here on WSB. His path to becoming a play-by-play legend began back in 1989 when he started calling games for the Yankees. He'd gone on to call more than 5,400 regular season games and hundreds more postseason matches before retiring in 2024. Sterling was 87 years old. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 211 at 49,288. NASDAQ NASDAQ is in positive territory, but only slightly. The S&P is currently in the red. It's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather on this Monday morning. Ashley Frasca's in the traffic center.
Good morning, Sabrina. It certainly feels like a Monday on the downtown connector. First, you've got a stalled tractor trailer in the right lane, 75-85 northbound. Before I-20, you get past that, trouble in a couple of right lanes right before the Peachtree Pine Street exit, and had a bad truck crash this morning, 75 northbound at Old Allatoona Road. The interstate is clear, but Old Allatoona Road westbound remains shut down underneath I-75. From the Loud Security Systems Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. A mix of sun and clouds today, warming up to a high of 78. Clear and cool for tonight, lows in the upper 40s to low 50s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 81. Clouds return on Wednesday along with rain showers late in the evening, high 83.
62 degrees in Tucker, at 61 in Mableton and Sandy Springs. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Monday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The whole gang with us today. Gracie Award-winning Deborah, executive producer of the program. Darius screens your calls. Down south, Vinny, on the other side of the takeout window. I lied earlier, Deborah, when I said I'm going to give you a keyword in the Grand for Gas at 10:12 a.m. It's going to be a little sooner than that, because coming up at 10:10, which is 5 minutes from now, Xavier Walton from News Nation is going to join us live on the end of Spirit Airlines and how it's going to impact travelers like you and me. So he's going to join us in just a couple of minutes. Eric Erickson live, we think, in studio, which is always exciting, at 10:35. All things politics with Eric Erickson. And at 11:37, Deborah has tickets to give away to see James Taylor. Where is Mr. Taylor performing, by the way?
Chastain.
What a great venue for, oh my gosh. Do I pull strings and ask promotions for tickets or no?
The last time you ended up wanting to go to a show, you ended up having to do something else that
That's
day.
true. But I didn't even ask them for tickets. I just floated the possibility. Anyway, James Taylor tickets. That is very exciting. Big news in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has claims that it has prevented U.S. ships from entering the straits. President Trump said he is going to use naval assistance, the U.S. Navy, to, kind of escort the tankers through the strait. A lot of moving parts there. President Trump says the U.S. will free stranded ships in the strait on humanitarian grounds. Reporter Dale Gavlik has the latest from Amman, Jordan.
A British maritime agency reports that a tanker has been hit off the coast of the United Arab Emirates by unidentified projectiles. The United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations said that a bulk carrier sailing near the coast of Iran reported being attacked by multiple small craft on Sunday. The incidents come as the United States says its forces will begin guiding ships through the Strait of Hormuz today.
Dale Gavlock this morning in Amman, Jordan. Not clear yet how many takers there will be for President Trump's offer to help ships pass through a vital waterway controlled by Iran. And Iran itself has threatened to attack U.S. forces if they try.
Shipping security executive Jacob Larson, for one, was skeptical about President Trump's offer to protect ships sailing through the Strait of Hormuz.
To me, it looks like the outcome will be predictable. There will be some shooting at some ships, and then probably armed conflict will break out again.
Now, Iran's media report a U.S. Navy frigate has been targeted by 2 missiles in the strait, something the U.S. denies. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
This is, at the end of the day, President Trump could say, hey, we'll guide the ships through the strait. We'll give you protection, despite the threat from Iran or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's up to the insurance companies and the shipping companies. Like, obviously, they're not making any money, which sucks for them. But would you rather not make money or lose how much those tankers cost to make? Like, I don't know, 50 million plus all the oil on it. Do you want to take that loss, or are you okay with just, not losing money or not losing ships right now? Olivia Gazis is the CBS News intelligence and national security reporter on that angle of the Strait of Hormuz.
The cost of the war itself is also surging. Sources told CBS News the Pentagon's $25 billion public estimate is likely twice as high.
But we're not leaving right now. We're going to do it so nobody has to go back in 2 years or 5 years.
And what the administration cast as a 4 to 5 week operation has now stretched twice as long, with no signs of ending.
So that was more on the cost of the war. This is actually what I wanted to play. This is Ryan Bull. He's the senior Mideast and North African analyst at RANE, RNANE. President Trump, as I said, is going to use the U.S. Navy to guide commercial ships through the strait starting today, calling it a humanitarian effort. But the move also raises the risk of confrontation with Iran. The latest from Ryan Bull.
There will be a few wildcats that are willing to cross the mutual blockades and try to see if they can skip by the Iranian blockade under U.S. protection, even if that's implicit. But the majority of shipping companies will still stay away from this. And in fact, we've seen a couple of ships already attacked within the past 24 hours that suggests the Iranian threat is still very real.
Wildcatters, he calls them. Would you roll the dice and get your tanker through the Strait of Hormuz? A little bit later in the show, we're going to continue our Iran coverage. We'll go back to the White House, and we'll go to Islamabad, Pakistan. I'm going to have you pronounce it from now on. I feel so...
Pakistan?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know why. My tongue just wants to say Pakistan. Anyway, we're going to go to Islamabad, Pakistan for the possibility of increased talks, ceasefire talks, or peace talks between the United States and Iran. All right, 2 minutes early, but I don't care. We're going to give away $1,000 right now. It's a grand for gas. The 10 a.m. keyword is Queen. Queen, Queen. Enter the keyword Queen into the WSB Radio app or online at WSBradio.com/gas. You have until 10:30 a.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. The keyword is Queen. Queen. And don't forget, if you get a phone call after 10:30 from an 833 number, answer it. It could be us telling you you want $1,000. The keyword is Queen. 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 Good luck. And I'll give it again in 2 minutes because I always say 10:12 and I did it at 10:10. But there you go. Queen is your keyword. I want to give away a grand for gas. I should check the gas prices right now. Markets open. Dow's down 0.5%. NASDAQ's up a smidge. And oil is up 0.13%. So just up a little bit there, despite the ongoing battles going on in the Strait of Hormuz and uncertainty going on in the Strait of Hormuz. We are going to check in with Xavier Walton from News Nation in a second, but preview what we're going to talking about. That Spirit Airlines did not get the $500 million bailout money from the Trump administration, made their final fight Saturday, but there's a growing debate whether taxpayer dollars should be used to prop up struggling airlines. ABC's Morgan Norwood with more.
JetBlue moving quickly just hours after Spirit went under, announcing it will pick up some of the lost service at Fort Lauderdale with 11 new routes starting this summer. But one industry group made up of Allegiant, Avelo, Frontier, and Sun Country Airlines requesting $2.5 billion in financial relief from the Trump administration, citing those sky-high fuel costs. The group representing major carriers like Delta, American, Southwest, and United, saying, quote, government intervention on behalf of those airlines would punish other airlines.
I mean, they just closed up shop abruptly. I saw some videos on social media down in Orlando, especially. I guess Spirit's big in Orlando, and there were people waiting to get on the flight. They're about to board, and the lady comes over the loudspeaker. She's like, "This flight's been canceled," and all these folks were, I mean, literally like. Well, Peter Greenberg told us last week, if you had a flight on Spirit, book a backup flight. More on that after that shutdown. Tens of thousands travelers stranded, thousands of workers without jobs. CBS News transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve has more from Florida's Hollywood International Airport, which was a major hub for Spirit.
Spirit struggled for years, but the surge in fuel prices since the start of the war in Iran left the airline burning through cash. At President Trump's suggestion, the federal government offered a $500 million aid package, but Spirit bondholders balked at the terms. Talks stalled, and the airline ran out of money. A Spirit creditor thanked the administration for its efforts, but told me you can't breathe life into a corpse.
Losing a low-fare airline is never good.
Airline analyst Henry Hartevelt.
So without Spirit, there's just that much less price competition, and even the budget airlines are probably going to try to raise fares where they can.
Spirit's final 2 flights landed in Dallas early Saturday morning.
I feel sad, worried, because it's like my bills is going to come. How are we going to pay it?
Flight attendant Miguel Quiones was working a trip Friday. He learned after landing in Philadelphia he and about 7,500 other Spirit employees were out of a job.
You've lost the job you loved. Yeah. The day that happened, I was like destroyed. I think about it, and I was crying the whole time, and crying for me and all my coworkers.
Chris Van Cleve, transportation expert. 10:13 in the Mark Arum Show. In case you missed it, the Grand for Gas keyword is Queen, Queen, Queen. Enter Queen into the WSB Radio app or online at WSBradio.com/gas. Queen is your keyword. I thought about this the other day, Deborah, when I was at the Braves game. You know what I miss on the show?
Oh, what?
A lot of things. I mean, I love the show now, but back when we used to take a lot of callers, if I went to a caller and they weren't there, we would play this sounder.
Everybody clap your hands.
Remember? Like that was like a way to avoid the awkwardness.
Mm-hmm.
But we can reinstate it because it's an awkward right now because we got ghosted by Xavier Walton from News Nation.
Yeah, no response.
No response. So, all right. So there's still a way for us to, you're going to have to keep this hotkey, Vinny. Let's play it again. Anytime a guest ghosts us.
Everybody clap your hands.
I do miss doing that. You don't miss it at all.
It's not that. I just get frustrated when I've been back and forth trying to get these people on. They're like, yeah, not a problem. And then nothing.
I know. That's all right. If he does pop up, maybe we can reschedule him a little bit later on the show. Meantime, a couple of stories worth noting. When I first started work, I don't even remember what it was. Minimum wage, $2.75, $3.25. I don't know. Yes, I'm that old, Deborah. And I remember when I was in college, minimum wage was $5, and that's what I made. Or $5.15 working at the bowling alley. And, I don't even know what the minimum wage is now in Georgia. Is it still like $7?
$7.25.
That's too low. But this proposal might be too high to me. Someone who's proposing a $25 minimum wage.
This is actually a group of Congress people coming together saying they're calling it the Living Wage for All Act, and they want to make federal minimum wage $25 an hour. Now, this would be slowly, it wouldn't actually hit until 2038. So you're talking a while down the road, but it would slowly go up every year because the one we're at now, $7.25, hasn't changed since 2009. And that's a long time for it not to change, considering how much
it's got.
Cost of living and everything.
And I understand, but if you raise the price of the minimum wage, you're going to pay more for your Big Mac. Guess what? We're already paying more for the Big Mac.
Yeah. Oh, look, $7.25 can almost buy you some gas.
Yeah, it's time. 2009. I'm not saying it should go to $25, but $11, $12.
Well, I think their whole thing is every year it'll increase until 2038, and that would be the top of 25. Because some states already have $20, $16, depending on what state you're at.
I mean, what is it now? $7 and a.
It's $7.25 here.
And if you work 40 hours a week, it's not enough. It's not enough. All right, Xavier Walton is calling, but we got to go to a break. So when we come back, we'll talk to Xavier Walton from News Nation about the Spirit Airlines shutdown. Right now, hopefully no interstate shutdowns. Let's go live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Good morning to the incomparable Ashley Frasca.
Hi. No, we had one of those earlier this morning. Right now, everything moving pretty well. It's a little slow on the downtown connector, though. We've got trouble in the right lane. A stalled truck, 7585 northbound between University Avenue and I-20. And then there was trouble up at the Peachtree Pine Street exit. That has cleared, been moved off to the side. 85 south and Georgia 400 slow just before their merge. You still have Old Alatoona Road westbound shut down with an earlier crash underneath I-75. Traffic brought to you by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance. With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. From the Loud Security Systems Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
When you need to know.
This story is developing in Atlanta.
When you want to know.
Severe weather is on its way.
When you have to know.
We'll alert you as soon as this closure clears.
Get notifications
from your source for news.
Get the WSB Radio app.
Download it from your app store today.
Cancer. One small cell can change everything. Beating it takes something big. Northside Hospital Cancer Institute is built for it. Built for breakthroughs, pioneering clinical research, treatment, and surgical innovation. With the most cancer centers and board-certified oncologists in Georgia. We're built around you, with personalized care from screening through survival. Northside Hospital Cancer Institute, built to beat cancer.
Let's talk about that termite bond renewal notice. They're going to increase your rate again.
Not when you switch your termite protection to Breda, because we'd lock your termite rate in for 10 years.
Mark Arum here with Matt Breda from Breda Pest Management.
They're charging more and doing less. They don't even inspect inside anymore.
Breda inspects inside, and your termite rate is locked in for 10 years.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
During our Latin Flavors event, Kroger brand 80% lean ground beef in 3-pound rolls are only $5.99 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Let me guess, you had a window company come out, sat at your kitchen table for 2 hours, and by the end of it, you felt trapped in a price that made no sense. I hear that story every single day. Hey, it's Ray, founder of Window Comfort, and we built this company to be the opposite of that experience. No pressure, no games, no inflated pricing, just factory direct windows and honest pricing backed by our unlimited warranty. And right now, we're stacking it. Buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, free installation, and no payments until 2028. You can finally see what windows should actually cost. You have nothing to lose and everything to save. So go to windowcomfort.com and book your free, no-pressure estimate today.
Better prices, better views. Window Comfort, meant just for you. Window Comfort.
It's official. President Trump has endorsed Burt Jones for governor.
Burt Jones has been an incredible leader. This man has my complete and total endorsement, and I really want to see him win.
Burt Jones is a trusted Trump conservative who's leading the fight to end Georgia's state income tax.
He's going to make a great, great governor. You will be very happy, Georgia. Burt Jones has my complete and total endorsement.
Paid for by Burt Jones for Georgia.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks? Oh, really? Rufus loves new tricks. It's Ashley Frasca for Finley Roofing, the Roof Guys. Known for decades of impeccable roofing, now offering windows and doors that live up to the Finley name. Provia Windows and Doors. Maximum energy efficiency, long-term performance, and high-quality installation. Plus, upfront pricing and 0% financing. For roofing, windows, and doors, think of Finley first. FinleyRoofing.com.
Well, Lee and I are here for my grandma's funeral that just happened, and I don't know what we would have done if we were in the position people that were flying with Spirit.
That's Raquel Allen, a lucky one. She double booked her Spirit Airlines flight, was able to get out despite the Spirit Airlines bankruptcy, closure, however you want to phrase it. Continue our team coverage. Joining us from News Nation, Xavier Walton. Xavier, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Mark, good morning. You know what? I can't even imagine what those people are going through, especially when you're talking about getting to a funeral, man. That's just terrible. But sad story. That's the same. Like people, thousands are going through that same exact thing right now. This rush to rebook and rush to get a refund. It's all happening.
I mean, really abrupt too. I saw a video down in Orlando, and literally folks are about to board their flight, and they're like, "Nope, canceled. The airline is shut down." So, what does the end of Spirit mean for travelers in general?
Well, in general, essentially, there is one less budget-friendly airline. It removes one competitor from the airline industry. On the flip side, that's great, I guess, for, airlines like, Frontier and JetBlue. But they're still dealing with the same problems that Spirit was dealing with. And then on the other hand, you got, some of the other airlines, say American or United, who, they are more expensive. And now because of the less competition, they can continue raising prices or continue at their higher prices. And then you start to think about the jet fuel costs and all that, and it just continues to go up. We had this great graphic on this morning on Morning in America, and I was sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, if those prices continue to rise, it's going to be, it's trickle down, right? So we're all going to have to pay for it eventually. But for travelers right now, near future, still trying to figure it out. I guess I got some good news. Spirit says that, if you paid with a credit card or a debit card, you've already got your refund on most of them by Sunday. If you use points or vouchers, it's a little more complicated than that.
Xavier, is this it? Is there any chance that there could be a bailout for Spirit, or is this, the end of the road for Spirit Airlines?
No, this is the end of the road. By all accounts, you saw it by the airline reaching out to the Trump administration and seeing if that was their last ditch effort. That was their Hail Mary. When that didn't happen, that was essentially the nail in the coffin. And I say coffin because I'm sitting here, in front of a Spirit kiosk. And, for people who are listening, you go to a crime scene or you go to some sort of, emergency and you see all the flashing lights and you take out your phone, you take pictures, you take video. I've been at the airport for several hours now, and I kid you not, they're treating the Spirit kiosk that is now closed like it's, a scene, and they're taking out their phones, they're getting pictures, they're getting videos, and then they have something to say about it. But it is done, at least for now. I think it's pretty safe to say Spirit is no more, and then the ripple effect will be felt for a little while, I believe, at least.
Rest in peace, Spirit Airlines. Xavier Walton, News Nation. Great stuff, Xavier. Maya, I didn't book it. Maya booked a flight for Memorial Day to go see my parents, and wow. It's on Delta. It's always an expensive flight to Hartford because there's no competition.
It's a smaller airport,
it's really expensive now with those jet fuel costs coming up. Grand for gas. You can buy jet fuel if you want. You've got 5 minutes to enter the keyword QUEEN, 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 into the WSB Radio app or online at WSBradio.com/gas. You have until 10:30. Enter the keyword, win $1,000. Don't forget, if you get a call from an 833 number after 10:30, pick it up. Could be us telling you won $1,000. News, weather, and traffic, and then Eric Erickson joining us live next on the Mark Arum Show.
If your mom is anything like mine, she'd rather give a gift than get one. This Mother's Day, do both with D. Geller & Son Jewelers' Stilla Vitae collection. We designed Stilla Vitae to benefit Cure Childhood Cancer right here in Atlanta. Every piece gives back and comes with a booklet showing the love and support behind this incredible gift. This Mother's Day, give mom something beautiful that gives back, something just like her. Stilla Vitae, exclusively at D. Geller & Son Jewelers in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. I recently had two sets of customers who had vastly different stories. One had purchased elsewhere 3 years ago and spent $5,000, and the other had purchased from OMF 12 years ago and spent $1,000. The difference? Our customer's mattress lasted 4 times longer and cost them 5 times less. Don't waste money on overpriced, overhyped mattresses. Visit the Original Mattress Factory for unbeatable quality and value. Sleep better, longer, for less.
One thing I've learned in my 30 years here living in Atlanta, you do not want to wait until the heat hits to think about your air conditioning. Hey, it's Mark Arum here from my pals at Reliable Heating and Air. Now's the time before we get those 95, 100-degree temperatures. Now's the time to think about your AC. Right now, you can get any size AC, just $69.99 a month with 0 down. And with their Comfort Club, all future repairs, maintenance, even filters are included for life. That's what I have. Peace of mind with the Reliable Heating and Air Comfort Club. That's a real lifetime warranty, and it can save you thousands over time. They've helped over 250,000 homeowners, and with 24/7 service and next day installation, or they'll pay you $500. They make it easy. Get your free consultation at reliableair.com and ask about clean air upgrades. Reliable Heating and Air, always here for you.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed right here on 95.5 WSB. Chris, you've talked for years about the importance of having a financial plan in place because it gives us that roadmap for the journey of retirement. That helps us navigate the ups and the downs, when life doesn't go to script. But hey, when can we ever count on life to go according to script?
Yeah, it never does, but we can script it out for you financially. And this is a pretty robust offer that we would present to you today. The first step is you call us or you go to unleashyourmoney.com and click that portfolio x-ray button or the 401k x-ray. That'll allow us to do about a 10 to 14 page report. We give it to you. It assesses exactly what's included in your financial life, all of your investments. From there, if you want us to take step 2 for you, again, completely complimentary, free of charge, we will build you an income plan to replace your paycheck in retirement. That income plan also includes tax strategies, which are extremely important for people in today's environment. Then, if you want us to take the final step, we can fold all of that into a full financial plan and map it out for the rest of your life or until age 100. All 3 of those offers, completely free of charge, completely complimentary. I would start with that portfolio X-ray. It'll take us a few hours to generate the report. We do all that behind the scenes. We give it to you in a half an hour, 45-minute meeting. Very valuable information for you to have on your ready and take home with you.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group today, 770-580-2024. That's 770-580-2024 or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Why is Channel 2 Action News Georgia's #1 morning news? A team who watches out for you. Clark Howard saves you money. Justin Gray watches your back with warnings about ripoffs and scams. Channel 2 Action News this morning, starting at 4:30.
I'm Channel 2's Karen Greer. When stories break, they unfold in real time. We have multiple reporters live in your neighborhood, so when it matters most, you know how it affects your family. Channel 2 Action News, every day at 4, 5, and 6.
Avoid the headaches of a traditional home sale and move on your timeline with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. The U.S. and Iran continue trading proposals to end the war. Details now from correspondent Holly Williams in Tel Aviv.
The Iranian state media sort of revealed some of the key points in a 14-point peace plan put forward by Iran late last week. It apparently calls for the lifting of sanctions on Iran, ending the U.S. naval blockade on Iranian ports, and ending all hostilities, including Israel's activities in Lebanon. Iranian state media also reported that there had been a U.S. response and that Iran's leaders were reviewing it.
Now, meanwhile, President Trump says the U.S. will guide stranded ships in the Strait of Hormuz, Iran quickly denouncing that plan as a ceasefire violation. Stay with us for continuing live team coverage of the conflict in the Middle East right here on 95.5 WSB and on the WSB radio app. All right, so your weather for today, mostly sunny, a few clouds passing by. Afternoon highs around 78, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. This is new at 10:30. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office telling us they have now made an arrest in a rash of recent car break-ins. Deputies identifying and arresting a juvenile connected to those break-ins in the Dorset Shoals Road and Mason Creek Road areas. The juvenile has been taken into custody and charged with 39 felony offenses. Fire causes significant damage to a home in DeKalb County, and 3 of the 7 occupants are injured. A woman who had to be pulled from the home by firefighters was rushed to Grady Hospital in critical condition. Captain Jason Daniels says 2 others also required treatment.
A juvenile female suffered smoke inhalation and was transported, and a male patient suffered some burns to the hand.
Most of the damage to the house on Rays Road is on the back side of the structure. The cause of that fire is under investigation. There's a new parking deck open now in downtown Roswell, and it is free.
The parking deck holds over 300 spots for drivers coming into downtown. City Administrator for Infrastructure Sharon Izo says you can access the parking deck through the new connector road for now,
which is at the intersection of Highway 9 where Southern Post traffic signal is.
Green Street construction starts and will be fully closed to through traffic from Cherry Way to Highway 9 for 6 months. After that, the city will revisit payment options for the deck. Mary Ryan Howarth, 95.5 WSB.
A Dutch cruise line working with health officials this morning to address what they call a serious medical situation on board one of their ships. Maggie Rulli reporting on a possible outbreak of the deadly hantavirus.
People typically get sick with hantavirus after contact with rats or mice. It doesn't normally spread between people. It's rare, but it's deadly, with around 35% of patients dying after being infected. There is no specific treatment or cure, but early medical intervention can increase the chance of survival.
Now, 3 passengers on board the cruise ship have died. Another 3 are sick, 1 reportedly in intensive care. One of the side effects of those GLP-1 weight loss drugs is temporary hair loss. As a result, hair treatment products are seeing a boost in their sales of products to counteract that side effect. According to Gallup, the use of GLP-1 drugs has more than doubled since early 2024. The poll finds that about 1 in every 8 U.S. adults, or nearly 13%, are currently taking the medication. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 66 at 49,432. NASDAQ is up. So is the S&P. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca, how are we doing on the roads?
There's a crash downtown 75-85 southbound before I-20. Crews did move that to the right shoulder, but that's the cause for the extra slow traffic trying to head down from the Brookwood merge between 75 and I-85. And trouble just cleared from the right lane 75-85 northbound past University Avenue. You've got a few delays on the East Freeway, probably that construction. I-20 westbound between Wesley Chapel and 285. From the Loud Security Systems Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Epwards. A mix of sun and clouds today, high 78, staying cool for tonight, lows in the upper 40s to low 50s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high around 81, rising into the low 80s on Wednesday before cloud cover and rain showers return late in the evening.
64 degrees in Johns Creek. It is 66 in Jefferson. And here in Midtown Atlanta, we have 67 degrees. And we'll have more news at 11 o'clock, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
He's asking you questions.
Hey, you know what? What's eating you up?
He's asking more questions.
What, are you empty? Soulless?
And he's offering nutritional advice.
Pica, I think, is the thing where you eat like...
Oh, yeah, chalk and...
ashes,
clay.
Eric Von Hassler, today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Coming up next, new Georgia poll numbers when it comes to the governor's race and the Senate race. We'll get instant reaction. Eric Erickson live in studio, 2 minutes away on The Mark Arum Show.
Is your financial advisor managing your risk or just a spreadsheet? Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. Many financial advisors rely on target date funds, which are one-size-fits-all portfolios that don't know your name, your family, or your goals. And that passive management can leave you dangerously exposed. At Trajan, we look at the whole picture, not just the stocks everyone else buys, but the private market opportunities most advisors ignore. And as fiduciaries, we build a strategy around you, coordinating your investments, tax strategy, and estate into one cohesive plan. Your financial life deserves more than just a generic portfolio. Real planning isn't a stack of statements. It's the confidence of knowing where your income will come from for the next 30 years. Good enough isn't good enough for your family. It's time for a change. Schedule your complimentary consultation today. Call 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Private equity investments require accreditation. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Spring's here. Get that to-do list knocked out, including your roof. Hey, it's Mark Arum from my pals at Dr. Roof. 38 years of service, the trusted name in Atlanta for the roof that will last a lifetime. Book your appointment online at drroof.com.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications the top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
10:37 on the Mark Arum Show coming up in 1 hour. Deborah's got a pair of tickets to give away to see James Taylor at Chastain. What a phenomenal concert experience that will be. Congrats to Steve. He won a grand for gas last hour. Next chance to win a grand for gas right after the noon news and right before Eric Erickson here, noon to 3 on 95.5 WSB. Joining us live in studio. What an unexpected treat.
Surprise.
Our good friend Eric Erickson. You're looking great, my friend.
Thank you very much.
We got to talk wardrobe. I don't know who dresses you.
Myself.
Is it Hannity's people that are by, like you just look like you're. I'm stuck in 1993.
Look,
with my clothes.
I saw some meme that you hit your like mid 40s and you either dress like you're a hiker or a golfer, and like I'll embrace the golfer look.
Yeah, you look fantastic, buddy. I'm glad you came in studio today because we got some new poll numbers from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. This time on the Democratic side of the aisle. No surprise, Keisha Lance Bottoms is leading. The question is, the three candidates behind her, can they close the gap enough to force a runoff?
So there have been a variety of polls out. I think the AJC poll probably is one of the better ones. One has shown Keisha clearing the 50% hurdle already. She's got the highest name ID. Undecideds tend to break to the person with the highest name ID, so she might be able to do it. Most consistently in second place is Michael Thurman, who's got a base in DeKalb County. I'm kind of shocked, honestly, just as an outsider, as a conservative looking at this. Thurman ran statewide successfully for years, picking up Republican votes. Seems like if you want someone in the general who's not going to spook Republicans, that would be your guy. But we'll see where it goes.
He's got the resume. He's got the history and statewide, as you mentioned. And he doesn't, I'm going to, don't be mad at me, folks. Don't get in my DMs. But he doesn't have the albatross around his neck of being involved in the Biden administration. To me, like that, if Keisha Lance Bottoms makes it to the general election, if I were the Republican candidate, I would just keep tying her to the Biden administration.
Yep. That and the fact that she couldn't run for re-election in Atlanta, so that's why she went into the Biden administration. I mean, the voters in Atlanta rejected her. So,
will voters in Valdosta care about that, or will they be like, "Oh, she worked for Joe Biden"?
So I do think when you look at polling in the state, Atlanta has a stigma outside of Atlanta for a lot of voters.
Yes,
and the 2020 crime wave. I mean, it was the first time the city's burned down since Sherman marched through in the 1800s.
The Wendy's
she
story,
was she was the mayor. So the Republicans have a crime story. You look at the polling of independent voters for the general. Their number one issue is the economy. Number two is crime.
So let's play the what if game, Eric. If this goes to a runoff, who would be Keisha Lance Bottoms' opponent, do you think, right now? Estevez, Duncan, or Thurman?
Thurman probably has the edge just because of DeKalb County voters coming for him. I think you're seeing a lot of rejection of Jeff Duncan's play. Kind of hard to be a pro-life Republican who surpass the redistricting, the fetal heartbeat ban, and then jump into the Democratic primary and say, I reject everything I stood for 5 minutes ago.
I would just imagine, I think maybe centrist Democrats might be willing to give him a shot, but those on the far left, he was the Republican lieutenant governor. There's a lot of, what the Democrats might call skeletons in his closet. You voted for this and you pushed this.
Right. And the number one voter in a Democratic primary in Georgia is black females, which is why Keisha has an edge.
There you go. Eric Erickson joining us live in studio on the Mark Arum Show. One other poll dropped last week. This one, the U.S. Senate Republican primary election, leading the way, undecided, 54%. Yes. That is a massive undecided number. Further down, Mike Collins at 22, Buddy Carter at 13, Derek Dooley at 11. I don't know if this is open knowledge, but we're friends on Facebook. You kind of put out your endorsements, statewide endorsements, and you're backing Mr. Dooley for Senate.
I am. He's not running a fantastic race, but I do think the governor is right that having an outsider without the record that Mike Collins has is good. Collins has ethics issues. There's an ongoing active investigation in the House Ethics Committee about Mike Collins, his chief of staff, who's now his campaign consultant. John Ossoff won 2 elections on the ethics issues of his opponents, and that's an obvious issue for the general election.
We had Greg Bluestein on earlier talking about this poll, and he said that Collins has actually lost a percentage or two in the polling data, which...
Yeah, and Dooley is going up, and you may be able to see him surpass Buddy Carter getting into the runoff. Listen, Republicans, this is a winnable race. What's remarkable is nationally Republicans think Georgia's blowing it because of Mike Collins, and that kind of tells you where nationally the Republicans see this race is Collins is damaged goods walking into a general election.
Governor Kemp, wildly successful, wildly popular, endorsing Mr. Dooley. Why isn't that having a bigger impact when it comes to the polls?
This is kind of the problem. Same with Trump not being on the ballot. People turn out for Kemp. People turn out for Trump. They don't turn out for their recommended candidates. They've got to be able to define themselves. And Dooley has not run a fantastic race.
54% undecided vote. Early voting has started, so there is time, obviously, to make moves. But we were talking off air. Republicans not getting out early and voting early right
this is
now.
actually a huge problem for the Georgia Supreme Court. You've got Republicans tend to vote down ballot more than Democrats do. You've got two conservative justices on the Georgia Supreme Court who are probably going to get beaten by actual Democrats who are running as Democrats, which they're not supposed to do, but they're doing it anyway. They don't really care. They're trying to tie to the Democrats. If Republicans don't turn out, they probably lose the Georgia Supreme Court.
And that early voting for the Supreme Court, that's not, all right, we're going to vote again in November.
Right. This is the election for the nonpartisan races.
So how important are those judgeships?
Huge. Huge. Georgia's got a very pro-business environment. The two Democratic candidates are openly saying they would probably get rid of the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. They get rid of the fetal heartbeat ban, probably change some of the business rules in the state, suddenly declaring some of the contract rules in the state unconstitutional. It's a very big deal for business, for crime, but Republicans would rather yell at Brian Kemp for not suspending the election to redraw districts. The Republicans of the state are some of the biggest morons I've seen these days. They would rather fight with their popular governor over redrawing lines that would be unconstitutional for him to do right now, instead of actually getting people to go vote and save the Supreme Court.
That, of course, on the heels of the Supreme Court decision. But Louisiana is?
Yeah, so Louisiana is under a 3-judge order saying you've got to stop and redraw these lines because the Supreme Court said your lines are unconstitutional. And early voting had not started. In Georgia, early voting already started. There's a unanimous Supreme Court decision from 2006 that says when early voting starts, you can't stop an election to change the rules.
That the horse is out of the barn.
Yeah.
That's it. Eric, I'm very jealous, first of all, that you've been being able to interview all the Republican candidates for governor. Who have you interviewed thus far, and what are your takeaways from these one-on-ones?
Jackson, Raffensperger, and Carr were last week. Jones will be next Monday. He's the last of the 4 interviewed. There are technically 8 candidates. 4 of them don't even have a polling pulse.
Sure.
I got to tell you, this is probably a race, according to the polling, between Jackson and Jones. I'm a huge Chris Carr guy. He was a great interview. I really like him. But I mean, this is a race between Jackson and Jones. I'm kind of staying out of it. Don't want to pick a horse. I'm still going to interview Jones. But I do wonder if the Jones-Jackson race has turned so nasty, Raffensperger and Carr might be able to pick up some momentum just because people are going to be like, well, I don't like either of these guys. It's gotten really nasty fast.
And I don't know who eventually is going to win, but it's tough to reconcile when you are just lobbing Molotov cocktails at each other.
Yeah.
And, all right, one wins. You're going to get in the endorsement.
And by the way, that also is why I think Republicans aren't turning out. They think it's too nasty, and so they're going to sacrifice the Supreme Court by not showing up because they're tired of the gubernatorial mudslinging.
Yeah, that Supreme Court, that is an interesting angle to this. That being said, Chris Carr, didn't he just got a big endorsement over the weekend? Did he not? I believe. I could be misremembering.
I'm not sure.
All right.
Yeah,
I think he got a pretty sizable endorsement. Maybe we'll see him make some movement.
He's running in 4th. He's picked up momentum. He was at 3%. He's now at 11%. We've still got, like in the gubernatorial race, massive amount of undecided voters right now.
All right, Eric. Let's talk about the Iran war. I did it so we only have like a minute to talk about the Iran war, the Strait of Hormuz. Possibly more military actions coming. What do you expect to see or not see in the next week or so?
Again, I think it's one of those situations where there were great arguments to not start it, but we did. We probably shouldn't stop it until we've declawed and defanged the regime because they're going to want to kill us.
We're similar in age. This is the first time in our lifetime that this window of regime change and maybe planting the seeds of democracy is open. We started it.
We might as well finish. 90% of the Iranian people hate the Iranian regime. They're just unarmed versus the other 10%.
Yeah.
If we're able to get boats out of the Strait of Hormuz, but I wouldn't be surprised if Iran tries to blow up some of our warships in the next week doing that.
I didn't even mention this yet. Rudy Giuliani, you hearing anything about his condition?
I'm not, but he's been declining pretty rapidly in the past 2 years, apparently.
Indeed. Eric, what's coming up on the show today, buddy?
Yeah, Spirit Airlines, the fallout from that, the Iran situation, and all the fighting in Congress now. We've got the Nazi guy in Maine who the Democrats are rallying behind.
That popped, I think, on Friday on the show. show, and I didn't bring it up because I was like, does anyone care about the Maine Senate race? And I was kicking myself for not talking about that. It was the governor, right? The governor of Maine.
Yeah, the governor dropped out. This guy, so his name is Graham Plattner. He's actually pretty wealthy. He's running as a blue-collar guy. Until he ran for the Senate, he had the Nazi Totenkopf tattoo on his chest, which is the tattoo that the German SS officers who manned the concentration camps wore. Didn't think anything of it. First, he said he didn't realize. Then he admitted he did, but he was in the military, and they encouraged him to get it. And now he's like coming up with multiple. Just wild after all the years of Trump's a Nazi to have the Democrats running with a guy who's actually got an SS tattoo.
But he's an oyster farmer. We
yeah.
love oysters. Eric, great stuff as always.
Thanks.
Noon to 3 across these fruited plains. Speaking of Germany, when we come back, are we going to move troops out of Germany? We'll go in depth after we check the ride around town at 10:48. Here's Ashley Frasca.
A little slow to recover on the downtown connector from earlier trouble 75-85 northbound before I-20, and a bit slow connector south as you travel through Midtown. And it looks like trouble on the west side perimeter 285 south past Hollowell Parkway. That has you on the brakes on the outer loop traveling below South Cobb Drive. From the Loud Security Systems Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
You know WSB gets you around Atlanta with our Triple Team Traffic.
Now we've got $1,000 to fuel your ride. It's WSB's A Grand for Gas.
Listen for the keyword at 8, 10, 12, 2, and 5.
You'll have 30 minutes to enter that keyword at WSBRadio.com or the WSB Radio app.
One lucky listener wins a grand for gas. Your next chance to win is at noon.
WSB's A Grand for Gas.
From the station that gets you where you want to go. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's free gas station.
Relax and let Kroger Delivery handle your grocery shopping this week. We start with only the freshest items, then carefully pack your order in our refrigerated trucks. And our cool trucks keep your food fresh right to your door. Fresh groceries your way with Kroger Delivery. Get free delivery during online deal days, plus $30 off your first online order. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
If you live through an Atlanta summer, you know your AC has to be ready. That's why I recommend Reliable Heating and Air. Hey, it's Mark Arum back with you right now. You can get any size AC, just $69.99 a month with zero down. And with their Comfort Club, repairs, maintenance, even filters are included for life. You can schedule your free consultation online at reliableair.com. Reliable Heating and Air, always here for you.
Mom, you're the one making sure everyone else is healthy and taken care of. Advocating, nurturing, teaching, and treating. For Mom, it's a job that never ends. This Mother's Day, don't forget to take care of you. If you haven't gotten an annual physical this year, All Care makes it easy. With convenient same-day access across Metro Atlanta. Because taking care of yourself is part of taking care of them. Happy Mother's Day. From All Care Primary and Immediate Care.
Selling your old car on your own can be a nightmare. Shelley Winter here. I know you don't want to deal with placing ads, prepping the vehicle, meeting potential buyers, and negotiating. Save yourself a lot of time and stress by simply donating your vehicle to Cars for Kids. It's so easy, and you'll get a tax receipt for your charitable donation, a vacation voucher, and painless removal of your car. Go to carsforkids.org today. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Hi, I'm Emily, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where fine jewelry is always crafted with care no matter the price. Mother's Day, birthdays and graduations, weddings and anniversaries, the new job you got, and even the one you didn't. Give a birthstone necklace, a heart-shaped locket made in Italy, or high-quality diamond studs you can trade up every year. At Shane Company, we have something for everyone, because a friend wants you to win the gifting game. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
It's official. President Trump has endorsed Burt Jones for governor.
Burt Jones has been an incredible leader. This man has my complete and total endorsement, and I really want to see him win.
Burt Jones is a trusted Trump conservative who's leading the fight to end Georgia's state income tax.
He's going to make a great, great governor. You will be very happy, Georgia. Burt Jones has my complete and total endorsement.
Paid for by Burt Jones for Georgia.
Your home. It's where you live, sleep, eat, and breathe. Shouldn't it be healthy and safe for your family? To be truly healthy, your home needs to be bug and critter free. Who knows what germs they bring in your house? Hey, it's Mark Arum. I trust Breda Pest Management to protect my home inside and out because a pest-free home is a healthy home. Do not settle for the 5-minute outside only, hey, spray and pray approach to pest control. That is not protection. That's not a healthy home. Some other companies have given up on the inside of your home, but not Breda. They know a healthy home requires protection inside and out. It's the gross, germy bugs inside you want gone. So let the local folks from Breda in, and they'll keep those pests out. Breda, they handle bugs and critters for a truly healthy home. BREDA pest.com.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Maybe you haven't heard about us. We're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless has you paying for more data than you might need. Why? They might want you to cover the costs of younger people who do use all that data. If you're not using the data, you're probably being used. We've heard time and time again that some Big Wireless customers get stuck paying hundreds and even thousands more for years and years because they think it's hard to switch. Not with us. It takes just about 20 minutes and you can change your plan anytime without extra charges. We use the same towers as the big guys, so you'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the Big Wireless bill.
Our plans start at just $20 a month, and for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
10:54 on the Mark Arum Show. Oh, I just stepped on that. I'm such a bad DJ. Coming back to a little Run DMC. Deborah, the Peachtree Road Race just got a lot cooler in my mind's eye.
Maybe this will give you incentive to walk it. But Daryl DMC McDaniel is set to perform right before, like the evening before the Peachtree Road Race on July 3rd. Friday, July 3rd.
I just realized I'm not going to be here on July 3rd.
You're not going to be here.
I'm going to be in Peru. At
doing your own road race.
Machu Picchu, sucking on a tank of oxygen as I try to climb. I'm still very worried about that. Although Maya did book a reservation at apparently the #1 restaurant in the world in Lima, Peru. So maybe I'll do that and I'll say, you guys climb Machu Picchu. I'm going to stay here and eat. Quick update. I mentioned this when we were finishing up our conversation with Eric Erickson. President Trump plans to cut the U.S. military presence in Western Europe even as the war in Ukraine continues. The Pentagon says it will remove about 5,000 troops from Germany within the next year. That country hosts one of the largest American garrisons in the world outside of the U.S. CBS News senior security correspondent Charlie D'Agata has more.
The Pentagon made the announcement in the middle of a clash between President Trump and the German chancellor over the war in Iran after saying the U.S. was being, quote, humiliated by the Iranian leadership. On Sunday's Face the Nation, Colorado Democratic Representative Jason Crow said the president's reaction to those comments should raise serious concerns to the American people.
He's making really consequential troop movement decisions based upon, being upset by the comments of a foreign leader, which is no way to run a foreign policy.
Now, first of all, if you think about this in a vacuum, like we have a military base in Germany. Still, can you imagine if there was another nation's military base in the United States? So it's crazy to think that we have military bases in Europe, in Asia.
We have them all over Europe.
All over.
Yeah.
And it's beneficial to us. Like, look at all the military bases we have in the Mideast right now, which is allowing us to, get resources in where needed. I think it's a benefit to both the United States and Germany that there is a U.S. military base, right? So if Russia strikes Germany anywhere near the U.S. base, guess what? We retaliate. And it gives us the advantage of having troops closer to where they might be needed. So I bury the hatchet, dude. Like, this is good for Germany and it's good for the United States. I think. Ramstad Air Force Base, right? Is that what it's called in Germany? There's an episode of The West Wing. I don't know. Is it Ramstein? By the way, when we come back after news, weather, and traffic, we're going to go to Islamabad, Pakistan, and check in with CNN's Nick Robertson. And by the way, an expert listening says, Deborah, I am pronouncing it the correct way.
It is Pakistan.
Yeah. It might sound bougie, it might sound highfalutin, but pinky in the air, Islamabad, Pakistan. I like that I got confirmation from an expert in the news biz that I am pronouncing it correctly. So we'll continue our coverage with the war in Iran and what's going on in the Strait. We'll go to the White House and Islamabad, Pakistan, and we will update our top local stories. Social medias, by the way, active through the broadcast, at Mark Arum, at WSB Radio. And dagnabbit, I meant to say, you can watch the show live. We had Eric Erickson in here. Go to YouTube and rewind. Just search The Mark Arum Show.
Dave Baker here with big news. Coolray is celebrating 60 years of bringing home comfort to Atlanta, and they're making this month unforgettable. Here's the deal. Coolray will upgrade your home comfort with a new Carrier cooling system for as low as $60 a month. Look, if your AC struggled last summer or you're worried about rising repair costs, now is the time to replace it before the Georgia heat arrives. And for 60 years, Atlanta homeowners have trusted Coolray to keep their homes comfortable. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
The garage door springs that come standard with most homes don't last. And when they fail, it's not just inconvenient, it's dangerous. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello at A1 Garage Door Service. Our springs are the toughest in the industry, backed by our lifetime warranty. That's right, fix them once and you're covered for life. Don't risk your family's safety or your peace of mind. Let A1 replace your springs before they become a problem. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one.
A1 from day one. WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Imagine all that could happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids will grow, new memes are going to come out, but also, what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years? Hey, it's Mark Arum here. Thanks to the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you actually don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most, that finds and fixes any issues before you even notice them. It's like super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from threats online. All with their best equipment. No annual contracts, no fees, no strings. So even though kids will grow up and you still won't understand 6-7, your internet's going to stay sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. 5 years, same internet price, lock in reliable, fiber-powered gig Wi-Fi for effortless streaming. Plus get Disney Plus, Hulu bundle, and Peacock Premium included on them. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Peacock Premium included for 3 years. Programming selected, change in availability. Actual speeds vary. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 11 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This is Jen. Kemp says keep an eye on your bank accounts this week. That's the governor. He says the state is beginning to issue one-time tax refunds approved by the General Assembly. So married couples filing jointly could get up to $500, while single filers could get up to $250 back. At a signing ceremony in March, the governor said that this money should provide everybody with a little relief.
This measure doesn't pick winners and losers. It helps all Georgia taxpayers.
The state says that it will take a few weeks for all of the refunds to be distributed, but keep an eye on your bank account. All right, sunny skies mostly for today. A few clouds rolling through, though, and a high of 78, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. In DeKalb County, a home is heavily damaged in a fire this morning, and a few people have been sent to the hospital.
There were 7 people inside when fire broke out at the home on Rays Road. DeKalb Fire Captain Jason Daniels says most were able to escape, but they told arriving crews one person was still trapped inside.
Making entry into the home, finding that victim, and actually bringing her out for rescue. She suffered heavy smoke inhalation and was in critical condition and was transported, obviously, to the hospital.
A young girl was also hospitalized for smoke inhalation, a third resident receiving treatment for burns to the hands. Crews were able to put out the fire. The cause remains under investigation. Graham Keel, 95.5 WSB.
All right, you want to be careful driving home this afternoon. One Metro Atlanta County is starting new enforcement enforcement today against drivers who ignore stopped school buses.
The warning period is now over. There had been a grace period with warning notices, but no fines as the Cherokee County School District equipped school buses with stop-arm cameras. But beginning today, drivers who illegally pass stop school buses will be fined $1,000. Citations will be mailed to the vehicle's registered owner. The school district says just one day last year, more than 200 drivers passed school buses. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
And this is Children's Health Awareness Week in Georgia. The Georgia Department of Early Care and Learning's Laura Lucas says this year's theme.
So this year, we're going to take a pause with Callie, which really highlights the skill of grounding. So grounding is really when we bring the body and mind back to the present moment.
Also, for the first time this year, there is now a mental health toolkit available for providers online. The state's also focusing on developing a model and curriculum on building a workforce of consultants to better serve children and families in our state. Update on the conflict in the Middle East as the Trump administration hopes to use the military to help vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. New polling shows Americans are starting to really feel the impact of this war. Karen Travers has more from the White House.
Americans are clearly frustrated right now with this significant surge in gas prices. That this operation the administration is now launching, they want this to work to bring gas prices down. But of course, experts say that is going to take some time. Even if the war were to suddenly stop right now and ships were to get through the strait, there is going to be significant time before gas prices go back to normal.
Be sure and stay with us for continuing live team coverage of the conflict in the Middle East right here on 95.5 WSB, also on the WSB radio app. Let's check your money. The Dow right now is down 197 at 49,300, so the Dow's down almost 0.5%. NASDAQ and S&P, though, are in positive territory. It's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Just found some new trouble on the south side perimeter. Crash 285 westbound, the inner loop, Jonesboro Road, exit 55. Couple of left lanes blocked there. Delays filling in behind that. Overall, on the west side perimeter, 285 both north and southbound. Expected to be slow, and it is. Trying to get on the I-20 through that construction zone. And with earlier trouble cleared downtown, 75-85 southbound, just a tap of the brakes left between Atlantic Station and Georgia Tech. From the Loud Security Systems Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. A mix of sun and clouds today, warming up to a high of 78. Clear and cool for tonight, lows in the upper 40s to low 50s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 81. Clouds return on Wednesday, along with rain showers late in the evening, high 83.
68 degrees in Duluth, Douglasville, and Dunwoody. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
No, I want this town to be near you.
11:04 on, yes, an extremely busy news day Monday. Welcome back, friends. Mark, Arum, and crew with you till noon. Coming up in 30 minutes, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see James Taylor at Chastain. That is a bucket list concert. Your chance to win those in 30 minutes. And in 1 hour from right now, I am going to give you a keyword in our Grand for Gas promotion. Another chance to win $1,000 here on 95.5 WSB. Got a couple of local stories I'm going to go in depth on, but got to kick off with the war in Iran. We talked earlier to Jordana Miller from ABC News in Jerusalem. The headlines are coming fast and furious, Deborah. This 18 minutes ago, right? Just 18 minutes ago. An explosion rocks a South Korean ship at the Strait of Hormuz, according to officials there. An explosion and a fire occurred Monday on a South Korean-linked vessel in the Strait of Hormuz. The Panama flag ship was carrying 24 crew members, including 6 South Koreans, docked by the strait near the United Arab Emirates before the explosion occurred. No casualties have been reported, according to the ministry. Central Command says two U.S. flag merchant vessels have gone through the Strait of Hormuz, even though Tehran denies it. Tehran warning after President Trump said, hey, we're going to start naval guidance, like U.S. Navy is going to guide ships through the strait. I don't know if anyone's going to take it up on that. We talked earlier, like the insurance purposes. Do you risk it? A lot of developments, obviously, going on in the Strait of Hormuz and with the war in Iran. Let's go back to the White House. Kevin Liptak from CNN moments ago discussing what exactly is going on in the strait.
Wolf, I think it's clear that the president is looking for a way to break the standoff here. As the talks appear at a stalemate, as the Strait of Hormuz remains in a chokehold, the president clearly looking for a way to drive some of this forward. Now, how exactly the U.S. is going to guide these ships through this critical waterway remains somewhat unclear. A U.S. official says that it would be inaccurate to describe it as an escort mission. Instead, what it seems as if these military assets will be used to coordinate with ships that are trying to pass through, to suggest to them the most safe channels to use, and by their presence in the region to provide a measure of reassurance to shipping companies and to the pilots of these vessels that in fact it is safe to transit through. So U.S. Central Command says that this will involve guided missile destroyers, more than 100 aircraft, drones, and 15,000 American service members. As of this morning, according to Central Command, 2 U.S. flagged merchant vessels have been able to transit through. And perhaps more importantly, they say that U.S. Navy guided missile destroyers are currently operating in the Arabian Gulf after they themselves transited the Strait of Hormuz, suggesting that they were able to go through this channel without being fired upon by the Iranians. Now, earlier today, Iranian state media suggested that, in fact, it had fired on military vessels, American military vessels that were trying to pass through. Central Command later saying that that was, in fact, false. All of this, I think, raises the prospect that the ceasefire that's currently in place, remember the president extended it, could be breached if the two sides begin exchanging fire. We did hear earlier today from the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, who described the situation in the Strait of Hormuz. Here's what he said.
They're reduced. Their navy is not a navy anymore. It's a band of pirates. They are trying to cut off international freedom of navigation through the Strait of Hormuz, and the U.S. is opening that up. This is a humanitarian effort. It's not only energy that's in there, it's fertilizer, it's food transport, it's LPG for the more than the billion plus people in India use to cook. So we are saying the Iranians do not have control of the strait. We have absolute control of the strait.
Now, when it comes to the diplomacy, Wolf, we're getting mixed signals. President Trump over the weekend saying that the Iranian response was insufficient, but he's also saying that they're having very positive discussions with Iran.
Kevin Liptak moments ago at the White House. Lot to unpack there. First off, how is this considered a ceasefire still? Like, if Iran's like, hey, we're firing at Navy vessels, I just don't understand how the ceasefire's there. In the meantime, in between time, 900 million barrels of oil are hung up in the Gulf. Think about that. A barrel, not a cup. 900 million barrels of oil are not on the market, which is why we are seeing, despite the fact that we're almost energy dependent here in the United States, gas prices shooting up 40 cents a gallon in the last week. 900 million barrels of oil that normally would be out for consumption are stuck in the strait. Now, there's no easy solution to this. Obviously, if there was, it would happen right now. As long as Iran is belligerent and continuing to make threats to tankers through the strait, even with the U.S. naval escort, we're gonna still be dealing with this shortage and these price increases. Now, I understand President Trump has said the number one reason for this was to make sure that Iran never has a nuclear weapon. And I would say that that's probably going to get 99.9% approval worldwide. If you ask a billion people around the globe, should Iran have a nuclear? That's a vibe. No, they shouldn't. But in order to get that, the only leverage that Iran has right now is the Strait of Hormuz and what it's doing to the global economy. Now, it's hurting the Iran economy more, probably, because they can't get anything. They can't get food. They can't make any money getting the oil out. And I wish there was a simple solution. But there's not. And until we figure something out, we're going to continue, to suffer. And we are suffering a lot less than the rest of the world is. The petrol prices in Europe and Asia are way higher than we're paying. They've always been higher, but their percent increase is way higher. Is there a diplomatic off-ramp to get the Strait of Hormuz back open. Nick Robertson in Islamabad, Pakistan.
Right, we heard from the Iranian Foreign Ministry this morning. They said that they are right now considering the proposal that the White House sent to them over the weekend on Sunday. This, of course, was the White House response, formal response to the proposal that Iran put forward Wednesday. Diplomacy and track, but I think, the conversations that the ceasefire was supposed to pave the way for, what is happening today, the conversations are fading against kinetic activity that's underway. And I don't think it's a stretch to understand what is playing out today and President Trump's Project Freedom and the way that's happening sort of on the waterways, if you will, fits very much with Iran's fears that while they engage in conversations in the track of diplomacy, that in actual fact they fear that the United States wants to take military control of the Strait of Hormuz, take away that bargaining power that Iran feels that it has. And we have reports now of a UAE tanker that was targeted today by 2 drones. And in the last hour, the South Korean government is saying that it appears a vessel, one of their vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz, was actually hit by a projectile in the engine room. It's not clear if that vessel was sort of making its way through the Strait of Hormuz or if it was actually an anchor waiting to make that move. But this apparent, and these appear to be responses by Iran to the United States pressing to open the Strait of Hormuz here. If the kinetic activity begins to dominate, that space for conversation is going to evaporate, and we'll be back to a time again where it seems everyone's waiting on Iran's response as the White House begins to feel that there isn't a diplomatic track to be had here.
Meantime, markets now showing oil up 1.38%. Texas crude is at $103 a barrel. I think the Brent crude is up to over $110 a barrel. Obviously, updates throughout the day on the Iran war here on 95.5 WSB. Relatedly, Deborah, I mentioned we're pretty much energy sufficient, self-sufficient here in the United States. We produce a heck of a lot of oil. We are now exporting a record amount of oil.
The U.S. exported a record amount of 5.2 million barrels of crude oil per day just in April, which is a 30% increase since the Iran war started. But why are the prices still going up here? Because those prices are dictated by the global market. And like you mentioned earlier, just because we have this oil doesn't turn it into a usable fuel tomorrow for jets or cars or anything.
In the meantime, the oil producers here in the United States, I'm thinking Billy Bob Thornton and what's the widow's, the actress that plays the widow?
Demi Moore.
Demi Moore. Like her company's booming right now at 100. But is there going to become a point if we're sending out 5 million barrels a day? Is there eventually going to be pushback by consumers to be like, hey, what are you doing exporting crap? Let's keep it here.
If we ever get to a shortage, like the 70s or something, I think that's when you'll see a big pushback.
So we're exporting more oil than ever, but it has not changed the price of the pump. I guess that's good that we have so much oil, we can sell it, and the companies are making a profit. And if you're invested in ExxonMobil or the Wildcat operation that Billy Bob's son runs with Andy Garcia, they got to be crushing it right now. The Andy Garcia.
Can't wait for next season.
Yeah,
now.
I know. Very excited. But all right. So, that's a headline. We are now exporting a record amount of oil because of what's going on with the Mideast. We haven't talked about Cuba in a while, Deborah, which is, in a normal news cycle, this would be a big headline. Like Cuba is struggling right now. They don't have any oil. They don't have any electricity. And now they're running out of food.
Yeah, so a lot of Cuba it's about 80% of food in Cuba is actually imported. There's only so much you can grow on that island.
Well, they're growing sugar and tobacco.
And, there's only so much they can have on the island, but 80% of it is actually imported. But because you have these blockades or, you're not getting the resources that we had, they're really struggling. So Cuba has rationing books, and I'm thinking this was a thing like during World War II.
Absolutely.
Right? My grandmother would tell me
World War I, World War II.
They had these ration books. So they have that pretty normally in Cuba, but not all the stores even have things for their ration books. So, maybe it would say you can have one steak and a thing of milk, and stores have like a can of chickpeas and maybe half a pound of sugar. So these people are really struggling just to get basic needs.
And I understand we have our issues with the Cuban government, the regime there, if you will. But I don't know if you've ever, my best friend from college is Cuban. His parents fled, during the Castro takeover. But Cubans there's amazing people and amazing culture. I feel horrible for just the everyday citizens in Cuba.
Yeah, it's humanitarian at
Absolutely.
that point, not government.
Yeah. Ration book. What if we had ration books here, Deborah?
They would be non-existent in one day.
I'm just trying to think if we could trade. Like, Vinny, you could trade me your bacon ration. You're not going to eat it. And your bagel ration.
Oh, God, I'd be
I might eat the bagel now.
I'd be a millionaire,
I
right?
know,
I'd have so many extra books.
Oh, by the way, breaking news. I totally forgot about this. We talked about the price of tomatoes, Deborah, right?
Oh, my gosh, tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got the breaking news sounder, Vin? All right, so this is breaking news. So 2 weeks ago,
where is Hector?
Deborah told us that the price of a case of tomato, a crate, whatever they come in, went from $25 to over $100. Right? That's huge. And you're a big tomato consumer. We're all big.
I eat them.
It's so bad. Maya's growing now tomatoes in
Good
our
for
backyard.
her.
So I got a buddy named, I'm going to call him Bobby Marbles. He's a baseball guy. Actually, Bobby Veggies. He runs a huge produce distribution center.
Oh, okay.
So I was on a FaceTime with him on Friday or Saturday. I don't know, one of the days. And I said, Bobby, what the hell's going on with tomatoes? I'm like, it went from 25 to 100. He goes, yeah, it's crazy. He goes, but they're going to be down to $12 a box soon.
How soon?
Real soon. So I asked him, I've got an insight. I got this is insider
trading.
Yeah. So I was like, what happened? He goes, there was a freeze in Florida and they had to basically throw out the crop from Florida. He goes, but now we're in May. And he goes, the California tomatoes and the Georgian tomatoes are coming in. So we went from 25 to 125
to 12.
12.
Nice.
Heard.
Good. At least I can buy them again.
Get on Kalshi. Get on Kalshi, predictive market. Bobby Marble says.
Pork bellies and oranges.
Yes. I don't know about pork bellies, but he said tomatoes are going to be down to $12. So I don't know. Do you sell? Do you buy? I don't know how any of that works.
Sell, Mortimer.
Yes. That's crazy, right? Just because of a freeze in Florida. My buddy asked him about rutabagas. He said they're always expensive. Rutabagas are always expensive. No, rhubarb? Rutabagas?
Oh, I love rhubarb.
Rhubarb's always expensive.
Yeah.
I don't want to misquote Bobby Marbles. There you go. Some good news. Tomato prices are going to come crashing down, according to insider sources at the Mark Arum Show. 11:19 now on the broadcast. Let's check the ride around town. Hello and good morning to Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Not good. South side perimeter. Crash still working to clear out of 2 left lanes. 285 westbound. The Interloop Jonesboro Road exit 55. Stacked up back to I-675. 285 southbound. The outer loop on the west side. Brake lights. It's going to continue all day. South Cobb Drive down to I-20 with the northbound ride slowing from Cascade Road. Traffic brought to you by Wendy's new Biggie Deals. Choose one of Wendy's new Biggie Deals for a pretty biggie deal. Gotta be Wendy's. U.S. price and participation may vary. From the Loud Security Systems Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
Hey, you know WSB gets you around Atlanta with our triple team traffic.
Now we've got $1,000 to fuel your ride. It's WSB's A Grand for Gas.
Listen for the keyword at 8, 10, 12, 2, and 5.
You'll have 30 minutes to enter that keyword at WSBRadio.com or the WSB Radio app.
One lucky listener wins a grand for gas. Your next chance to win is at noon. WSB's A Grand for Gas. From the station that gets you where you want to go. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's free gas station.
Hi, it's Dale from TrustDale.com. I've trusted America's Best Choice for more than a decade for windows, doors, siding, decks, and roofing. Their exclusive 3-way warranty, including my $10,000 Make It Right guarantee, protects you if something goes wrong.
Thanks, Dale. At America's Best Choice, we deliver the best exterior solutions that provide long-term value for your home. Schedule your free...
Don't worry about you having to work with us. We work for you. So if you were to reach out to us, we would start with something as simple as the Portfolio X-ray. Simple as far as your time that you need to provide us some data points on, but we'll take the hours and we'll apply our expertise to generate a pretty comprehensive look at your financial life. specifically your risk profile, the fees in your portfolio, the performance over last year, 3 years, 5 years, the last 10 years against benchmarks. We'll also stress test it. Can we go back in time and say what would have happened to your portfolio during the Great Recession or the dot-com bubble that burst or the COVID correction? It'll give you an indication of how much your money is at risk. All of those components mixed into one simple 10 to 14 page report. We'll give you a copy of it. We'll walk you through it. And as I say, I have yet to see one that didn't have 2 or 3 golden nuggets, as I call them, of opportunity for you to contemplate possibly enhancing your financial future moving forward.
Make 2026 the year you take control of your financial life with this complimentary offer from Hoffman Financial Group. There's no cost for the portfolio x-ray, and the report is yours to keep. Call 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858 and online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
It's official. President Trump has endorsed Burt Jones for governor.
Burt Jones has been an incredible leader. This man has my complete and total endorsement, and I really want to see him win.
Burt Jones is a trusted Trump conservative who's leading the fight to end Georgia's state income tax.
He's going to make a great, great governor. You will be very happy, Georgia. Burt Jones has my complete and total endorsement.
Paid for by Burt Jones for Georgia.
Be honest, when was the last time your home was inspected for termites? Well, you're not alone. Hey, it's Mark Arum with Matt Breda from Breda Pest Management.
Did you know 75% of Georgia homes do not have termite protection? If that's you, what's stopping them from finding your home? Termites are the most destructive bug. They eat 24/7, 365.
Leaving your biggest investment unprotected is tempting termite trouble.
They're called silent destroyers because they could be eating your home right now and you would never know. Unless Breda thoroughly inspects inside and out with infrared cameras and microwave technology for early detection, giving you total peace of mind.
Get termite protection from Breda and your rate is locked in for 10 years. Breda, they handle bugs and critters. BREDA pest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Belinda here, and I'm with Larry, who took me up on an offer from Virtual Imaging, and he had his life saved not once, but twice.
So we went up for a free body scan, me and my wife, and we also joined the going up there every other year. I had an aneurysm in my liver, had no signs and symptoms of it, didn't feel bad. I just wanted, to have a checkup. That's the first time they saved my life. Me and my wife go up there at the same time after 2 years, and that's when they found the heart blockage. 99% blockage in my aorta. I was a walking heart attack. Well, 2 stents later.
So what would you tell people who are on the fence about going to Virtual Imaging?
Go to Virtual Imaging, then go see a doctor. Go up there, they do brain all the way down to your little toe.
Folks, what are you waiting for? Book an appointment with Virtual Imaging today for a free heart scan with few minimum requirements. Call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or visit virtualimagingatl.com.
This is the song I should have sung with Yacht Rock Review. Cantare. I'm off a beat there as well. Why are we playing this? 67 years ago today, it was the first Grammy Awards ceremony held at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. Domenico Madungo won Record of the Year and Song of the Year for Volare. I always thought it was Tony Bennett or
one of the other lounge singers.
Dean Martin. But apparently no, it was Domenico Madungo. Anyway, 67, that's how young the Grammys are, 67 years old. You've heard all 67 years of Grammy Award winners on WSB Radio. We are older than the Grammys. All right, I went way late. I'm sorry, I ran out of stuff. When we come back, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see James Taylor, the very latest on the Iran war, and how big of a creep is Eric Swalwell? New reporting says he's the creepiest of the creepies. We'll explain next on The Mark Arum Show.
So many homeowners are looking for ways to access their home equity without touching their low rates on their first mortgage. This is Scott Slade. Well, MyLend has home equity loans for just this reason. That's right, it's not only possible but very popular to have a second mortgage. So many homeowners are turning to these home equity loans to help pay down high-interest credit cards, student loans, home renovations, the list goes on. I've been talking about the guys and gals at MyLend for years, and if you have questions about home financing, these are the ones you want to call. I trust them with all my home needs, and you should too. Home equity loans, refinance, purchase, or reverse mortgage, MyLend can do it all. Find out if a home equity loan could be right for you. Call MyLend. 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Or online at mylend.com. Spelled it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS and Georgia Residential Mortgage Licensee 148769. Located at 8995 Westside Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. MyLend is an equal housing lender.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world. Protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Are you coming today? Are you not coming today? Hi, this is Candace from Excavations. Are you tired of having to chase your contractors around? If you're looking to remodel the outside of your home, then have I got a tip for you. Use Excavations. You'll know exactly when we're coming, when your project's going to be complete, and what you're paying for before you even start the project. Schedule your appointment today at exovations.com. EXOVATIONS.com.
At some point, you stopped calling it pain and started calling it, hey, it's just how I am now. Hey, it's Mark Arum back with you. That's not okay, folks. And deep down, you know it. I'd love to lead you back to the normal you, the one who is active and carefree. So let's get started now with an introduction to the medical team at QC Kinetics and their long-lasting regenerative treatments for joint pain. They're helping patients with pain from arthritis or injury in their knees, shoulder, hips, and even lower back. They're moving, sleeping, golfing, running without surgery or long recovery. The science is real. The treatments are natural. Your body already knows how to heal. QC Kinetics finally gives it the right tools. No operating room, no hardware, no watching summer come and go from a recliner. Just getting back to being you, the version of you that doesn't map out a route based on where you can sit or avoid stairs. QC Kinetics, better starts here. Schedule a free consultation today. Call 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Rocco's European Garage, your dealership alternative. U.S. Central Command rejecting claims this morning of an attack on a Navy vessel. Mitch McCann is following.
The Fast News Agency, which is linked to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, claimed that 2 missiles struck a U.S. warship as it attempted to enter the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. Central Command denied this, posting online that no U.S. Navy ships had been struck.
Now, this all comes after President Trump announced that a mission would begin today to escort stranded ships out of the narrow waterway. He called it a humanitarian gesture. Stay with us for continuing live team coverage of the conflict in the Middle East right here on 95.5 WSB and on the WSB radio app. Mostly sunny today, just a few passing clouds. Afternoon highs around 78. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. Heavy rain and cooler temperatures helping fire crews make progress battling 2 major wildfires in South Georgia. The Pineland Road fire is now more than 40% contained. It's burned over 32,000 acres, and the Highway 82 fire in Brantley County is 75% contained. It's burned over 22,000 acres. The one-time tax refunds approved by the Georgia General Assembly are starting to go out now. Married couples filing jointly could get up to $500, while single filers could get close to $250 back. The state says it's going to take a few weeks for all of those refunds to be distributed. In Cherokee County, they're cracking down on drivers who ignore stopped school buses. The warning period is now over. Nearly all those buses have stop arm cameras on them, and drivers who illegally pass a stop bus will be fined $1,000. The district just saying on one day last year, more than 200 drivers illegally passed school buses. The Supreme Court has restored broad access to the abortion pill, blocking a ruling that had threatened to upend one of the main ways abortion is provided across the nation. A federal appeals court imposing new restrictions last week. Legal reporter Katrina Kaufman explains.
For now, the Supreme Court has put this hold until May 11th. They've asked the state of Louisiana, who is the one that brought this case, to issue a response by May 7th.
The man known as the voice of the New York Yankees has died.
Ball game over. American League Eastern Division over. Yankees win. Yankees win.
Veteran broadcaster John Sterling's death was announced today. He spent 9 years here in Atlanta hosting a sports call-in show on WSB. His path to become a play-by-play legend began back in 1989 when he first started calling games for the Yankees. He'd go on to call more than 5,400 regular season games and hundreds more postseason matchups before retiring in 2024. Sterling was 87 years old. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 385 at 49,114. NASDAQ also down, so is the S&P. It's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams joining us now from the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, Sabrina, watching a little bit of volume in the Midtown. No crashes in the way, just the cars in front of you. 85 southbound, the brake lights find you just south of Georgia 400. You're going to stay sluggish until you get down to Cortlandt Street. On I-20 eastbound in DeKalb, the collector distributor ramp, they cleared up some earlier trouble on that CD ramp before Wesley Chapel Road. And just past that, DOT says left lane construction 20 eastbound in the through lanes between Wesley Chapel and Panola Road. From the Loud Security Systems Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. A mix of sun and clouds today, high 78, staying cool for tonight, lows in the upper 40s to low 50s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high around 81, rising into the low 80s on Wednesday before cloud cover and rain showers return late in the evening.
69 degrees in Smyrna, it's 70 in Conyers and Dallas. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Don't be late because you crowdsourced your commute with a navigation app.
Heads up crash involving several vehicles.
Depend on us
to make sure you get where you need to be on
Alternates
time.
new this morning between Buford and Swanee.
Local and dependable traffic 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Some of the alternates to get you around this include Memorial Drive and East Ponce.
WSB Triple Team Traffic.
Has flipped over 20 westbound.
95.5 WSB. How Atlanta gets there.
It's still not clear to me that insurance companies and owners of the ships will be willing to take the risk.
That's Rachel Zimba, adjunct senior fellow at the Center for New American Security with the latest on the Strait of Hormuz. We'll update the Iran war. Deborah's got James Taylor tickets to give away. And what were you thinking, Eric Swallow? All straight ahead on the Mark Arum Show.
Even when it's not raining, there's still signs that your roof needs attention. Home Fix-It Show host Dave Baker here for Findlay Roofing. The roof guys. Check your roof for streaks and stains, loss of color, or granules in your downspouts. Gutters are scattered on the ground around your home. Your roof may be telling you something. Or if you can still see where that wet spot was in your ceiling, even if it's dried out, your roof still has a problem. You need a new roof. Findlay Roofing has mastered the roof replacement process with impeccable, high-quality work with exceptional service and pinpoint attention to detail. Findlay lives by the golden rule and will treat your home like it's their own. Plus, Findlay stands behind their work with a lifetime leak-free warranty on labor and materials at no additional cost. And they offer 0% financing. Need a new roof? Think of Findlay first. Get started with a free roof analysis. Schedule yours now at FindlayRoofing.com.
If something mechanical goes wrong in your house, don't you just want to talk to a human? If my garage door doesn't work when I press the button on the remote, what are the odds I want to press 6 to have someone come and fix it? Suddenly, I'm explaining my problems to an internet chatbot who can't understand a word I'm saying unless I learn to speak chatbot. If something goes wrong with the robot door that protects my self-driving robot car, the last thing I want is to talk to another robot. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our dedicated call center is fully staffed with knowledgeable, compassionate, real, actual people, ready to listen and eager to please. They understand your needs and they understand what we do, and that makes all the difference. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll come over and make it right. In person. With people.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com. Heard in a crash? Call the accident attorneys at Sweet James, 800-9-million. The system's rigged, friends. Insurance companies protect themselves. Sweet James protects you. $2 billion won, 500 trials, 98% winning record. They put power and respect on your side. Pay no fees unless they win. 800-9-million. 800-9-million. 800-900-0000 and sweetjames.com.
Just call Sweet James. At 1-800-9-million. Just call Sweet James. You're your accident attorneys.
11:37 on the Mark Arum Show. Coming up in 30 minutes, I'm going to give you a keyword in our Grand for Gas giveaway. Chance to win $1,000 coming up in 30 minutes. Coming back to Sir James Taylor. He should be knighted. Love James Taylor. Imagine if, I just have this vision of him being the sweetest guy ever. Imagine if he was a jerk.
I have not heard that in any of the
that
interviews.
would break my heart. Anyway, we're playing James Taylor because, Deborah, you have tickets to give away to see.
Yep, James Taylor at Synovus Bank Amphitheater at Chastain Park on September 17th.
All right, let's do the 10th caller to D. Darius. I won't give him Vinny's full nickname on the air. 10th caller to 404-872-0750. Caller number 10 to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see James Taylor, Chastain, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show, WSB. Do we have those all week, Deborah?
Yeah, we have them all week.
When is it? When's the concert?
It's September 17th.
Clear my calendar.
Are you going to be here then?
I will make sure. If I can get
Okay.
tickets to see James Taylor,
Okay.
Chastain. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Eric Swalwell. We're gonna get back to the latest. There's a lot going on in the Strait of Hormuz, but Eric Swalwell, we all know, congressman from California, forced to resign because he was cheating on his wife and like a bunch of dastardly stuff. More dastardly stuff coming out now, Deborah. I'm gonna actually. It's such a long piece on CNN.com. I'm gonna tweet it out so you can get in there. But in this piece, it's alleged that dude was just a major creep. Let's start with the 19-year-old hostess at a restaurant.
Yeah, so this is basically it. Now that this story has come out, more and more women are coming forward saying, oh, yeah, that guy creeped me out, too. So this was a waitress, a server at a restaurant, said that Swalwell actually found her on LinkedIn and started messaging her inappropriate things just from meeting at a table one time.
Yeah, sorry. So imagine, Vinny, you're going to lunch. Like you and I go to lunch. We have the power lunches, and there's a cute hostess that seats us, and her name is Tiffany. I don't know why that name popped in my head, but and that that's it. That's the only interaction. Oh, I'll show you to your table, Mr. Vinny Drip, and then you go on LinkedIn and find her and DM her. And be like, what's up, girl? Like, that's next level creepy.
That's bad riz.
It is bad riz. Thank you, Vince. So what happened there? I'm sorry to interrupt you, Deborah.
Well, that was basically it. She just came forward and said he sent her all these inappropriate messages. But there's other people also saying that he tracked them down on Snapchat, which the glory of Snapchat is everything disappears.
Snapchat? Wow.
Yeah, but how shady is that, though, right?
Yeah.
So somebody emailed him online because his whole thing was like, I'm a little bit younger. I understand I can connect with people. If I'm on social media, you can message me. So another woman's coming forward saying she actually messaged him about a policy question, and he started putting suggestive messages
What are you wearing?
Back in her responses, yeah.
So, I mean, this is just a perfect storm of creepiness. Swalwell, by all accounts, is a good-looking dude. Good-looking dudes can do and get away with things that guys like me can't, right? I am on my best day, I'm a 4. But I'm funny, so sometimes I can creep up into the 6 range, but I'm a 4. I'm mid, right? That's what the kids would say, Vin. I'm mid.
Right.
Yeah. If you are a handsome dude, you get away with a lot of stuff. Add on the fact that you are a U.S. congressman and you have the power trip that goes with it. I don't know what goes on in the brain of a good-looking dude that's also powerful, thinking like that they're bulletproof and that every advance they make will be reciprocated. What makes this even worse, Deborah, is that Swalwell was like the face of the Me Too movement, like out there going, "Oh, these bastard dudes," like
Epstein's out there.
Yeah, and who was the Hollywood producer? Weinstein. Yeah. Like Swalwell was the guy that was leading the charge on the Meanwhile, he's DMing a 19-year-old hostess that didn't give her a number or just.
All of these women are fairly young too.
Yes.
They're not. I mean, he was younger compared to some other people in politics, but they weren't even like 2 or 3 years different. A lot of them were like college age, just out of college age.
I feel like we have to do the sexual harassment training yearly at WSB Radio. Have you taken those yet, Vin, now that you're full-time?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's a chore. It's like an hour. But I get it. Corporate does not want